What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Thank you for that nice turnout. I see 5 people. We are live here on my YouTube channel, the hub of the Kojay verse, and we are also on Twitch and Twitter. Hope y'all doing good. Much love to you all, and yeah, this is something I'm enjoying doing with our series, a little variety of discussions that I talk about, and you, yes, you can talk with me. Of course, be active in the chats. I'll show your messages, what you're saying, if I'm able to. Sometimes I get on a rhythm, on a roll, and I do what I can because I am on a bit of a time budget here. See, so also, if we have enough people interacting, we will play a game. We will do a Jackbox party game, Guespionage, or murder trivia mystery. I forgot what it's called. That's part of the Jackbox party games. And if you do not know what those are, I'll provide a link. You will need your smart device, phone. If you're watching this on your phone, it's going to be a little bit hard. But you'll watch it on your phone. You'll use this. All the answers and questions will pop up here, and I'll put a visual, and then we can have fun as we finish this show. Now, if you're new to the show, welcome to my show. This is my podcast where I talk about anything. Sometimes I focus on the main topic or a variety of topics like this variety show is. And the last one, I focus on Palestine, which I usually do. And we're going to kick off with Palestine because that's the most important thing. We're going to talk about some pro wrestling, AEW, Kitsune wrestling. My watch party is coming up with an epic film, a historical, dramatic action adventure film about what was going on in World War II over on Japan's side and how they enslaved South Koreans and put them to manual labor. And we'll get into that. It's a very, very, very powerful film. And there's this hashtag called #DamnItKojay whenever people get choked up and tear up. And it's been happening a lot. I do pick some. Well, my last one, I thought there wouldn't be one, but there was actually 2. So I will warn you guys ahead of time, but be prepared to have some emotional feelings because that is important because as we get to our first topic, what's going on in Palestine, I feel the most hardest thing that you cannot teach another person, you could only encourage, is people's ability to learn and people's ability to have empathy. Now, I like high concept films and stories and entertainment that that challenge your ideas. They challenge hard decisions, and there's a strong established presence of good and bad. And we need to, even in casual, just for fun, like let's say we're playing video games, we're trying to beat the bad guy, or maybe we're playing a video game where we are the bad guy. There should be an understanding of right and wrong at all times. And that's when we normalize that, we can approach difficult challenges a lot better, hopefully with a clearer mind and a true, honest heart. Intelligence and power doesn't reflect, or even talent. You know how a lot of people worship celebrities. A lot of talent, power, and intelligence does not reflect good and or evil. It's our actions, our decisions that do that. So, of course, we are going into the first topic right now as I get the cool overlays to be as cool as a show that you would see on TV. Yes, we're going to get into Free Palestine. And I am going to say this now. Well, I said it before, but for my channel, I am not going to be talking with people who have not done their homework. I am done doing that. So many times I approach someone who's on, let's say, an opposition side to what I know and stand for with the genocide going on in Palestine. And the most frustrating thing is like, it's not a conversation of like, well, what do you know? What have you discovered? What knowledge can you share with me? And vice versa. What answers can I give you? What have I found? Which ones do we both not know that we should look into and investigate? No, it's usually this is what I know, you're wrong. This is what I know, you're wrong. I'm not listening to anything, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. And many people might argue that everyone is like that, but that is a sign of an unhealthy conversation and discussion. And we need to normalize proper conduct. We need to normalize talking about religion. We need to normalize talking about politics. We need to normalize talking about deep concepts and tough issues, because what we do, or what we've been programmed to do, is think that these discussions and topics are so heavy that the intensity of the topic encourages animosity, when actually it's conduct. You can talk about anything if there's respect, patience, and a willingness to understand when the conversation can't go any further, or if it's going unhealthy, to step away and go back to it. Case in point, in any romantic relationship, or even a relationship with your family members, or even your friends, when something happens, like in the heat of the moment, that gets you very, very angry, and then you talk while you're angry to this other person to work things out, you're never really going to think clearly, because you have that tunnel vision of anger going on. Some people enjoy that, some people like that rush, but it's not healthy, and you don't see everything, and also it hurts your blood pressure, ladies and gentlemen. You don't need stress to hurt your heart. There's enough things killing us in this life. You don't need to add your emotional aggravation when you're having an unhealthy conversation, when you're in the heat of the moment, letting anger get the best of you, and you say things that you probably can't take back. So I classify that on conduct. So if there's a moment of anger or pain or something heightened emotion, and you need to talk about it right then and there, we gotta get in the habit of talking with the person, saying, "Okay, let's plan a day, or an hour, or later, or tomorrow, whatever it may be. We will uh, start this discussion after we're more calm and collected, and hopefully that'll be it." There's so many things we could do to have proper conduct, and then we can talk about these issues, because what I'm seeing now in the world is that when there's heavy issues and problems, there's more encouragement to distractions, and the inability to talk about important topics. It just has a numbing reaction. You don't know how to react. You are actually like a deer in headlights, and you cannot, you're just numb, or you get your defense mechanism on, and then you go with the closest, nearest limited stereotype you may know, go with that, and then either start a fight or go away, or nothing gets accomplished. And then bad actions and evil actions carry out about on their way, and no one can stop them, no one can address them, no one can prevent them. So that's why we talk about Free Palestine here, because it's very important. And if you saw my last show, I talked completely only about what was going on in Palestine, and I was very angry, and I still am. I'm more collected now, because oddly, every day there's a tragedy that I see with the journalists and the eyewitnesses sharing all what's going on, the catastrophe, and um, I'm handling it better. I'm not used to it, because I refuse to believe that slaughtering innocent people is normal or justified. So if someone's here, okay, here's the other thing. When people who are opposite of my stance that killing people is wrong, no one should be killing anybody, no genocide on anyone. People shouldn't be occupied, and people should be free and not live in an apartheid regime, and a government that treats a demographic and ethnicity of people as lower class citizens, or even subhuman. That is wrong, and I thought we left that back in the days when we abolished slavery and all that, or even after that. Uh, Even after we America got rid of slavery, there was no equality. Not everyone had equal rights and used the same bathrooms in the same anywhere on the bus, or what have you. History, right? So that stuff I thought was in the past, but it's actually current, and it's being supported by our government. and our media. As you see in today's news, Trump was found guilty, and he's addressing his fan base and all that. And Biden is also on trial or something. Well, he's not there. People are having a case about him to try and impeach him. And I've been jumping in some of the chats over there because it's live streamed. And I was like, hey, they're mentioning every problem he's done except funding genocide. And I'm always, I said in the comments, like, hey, why aren't you bringing up genocide? That's a war crime. You could totally get this guy, but they are not. And I just brought it up 3 times, and because this has been going on for a while. Then today I dropped another one. I was like, are you guys not bringing up the genocide because your next guy after Biden is going to fund the genocide? So you guys are just keeping it off the table? And yeah, I left it at that. It's very, very disgusting. And this has been a system going on for 76 years, ladies and gentlemen. And I am apologizing every day for being late to the party, but I refuse to be silent now that I know the truth. And I'm sharing the truth with y'all to do your homework. So use my channel, use my Instagram page as clip notes, like cliff notes. Like you see something, go in, research it and see what's going on. And do the homework. You have to. I do. We all have to be our own journalists because we cannot let all this BS dictate where our attention should be and what's important. And we the people deserve the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. And that's being denied to the public. And we're going to get into some things here, but those of you who love your boy Trump and you're scared that he's going to prison, don't worry. He is going to run for president. Him being found guilty, he's got a lot of money. He'll get out of it. This is all distraction because the impeachment of Biden, the court finding Trump guilty, it's all a distraction. That's not a hot take. Don't worry. Mark my words. With all of the news breaking your Trumpets' hearts, your Trump fan base, thinking that he won't run for president or hoping he will, or you don't believe it. You're like, Trump is found guilty. What? And you ask Trump, are you guilty? He's like, no, I'm not. Then you're like, oh, good. He said he's not. Every guilty person will tell you that they're not guilty. Come on. But don't worry. Don't let that dampen your Trump tiny little hearts and your little needle dicks. Is that Trump will run for president. Don't worry about it. This is all distraction. Why? Because what's going on? The United Kingdom and the United States of America is bombing Yemen as we speak. Saw an article about it 3 hours ago, and we will get into it. And then we'll get into Palestine, and then we'll get to the other fun stuff. But we have to tackle the wildfire while it's burning in hopes to put it out. Okay. So the most current news report I could find for you was published about like 4 hours ago. Hey, we have comments. Yo, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, my boy Hitomi Haruko is here. What's up, man? Much love. Like and subscribe to his channel. It is a very silly distraction. It's so petty. It's just to get our eyes off of us bombing another country without provocation. Probably just because they we'll find out. But yeah, Yemen has been protecting their own waterways to stop boats from bringing in supplies to support the genocide, and then they're in trouble for their water space, and we don't like how they're dictating their own water space or running their own water space or making rules of their own water space, so they're the bad guys and we have to bomb them. So backwards, ladies and gentlemen, so backwards. All right, let's get to it. So this is the most current one I could find on the spot. We will get more information later. This was published about 4 hours ago. Statement on airstrikes against Houthi military targets in Yemen, 30th of May, 2024. Oh, that's today. All right, on Thursday, 30th May, UK forces participated in a joint operation with the U.S. forces against Houthi military facilities to degrade their ability to persist with their attacks on international shipping in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden. which have thus far killed innocent merchant mariners from Vietnam and the Philippines, damaged several merchant ships, and sunk a bulk carrier, Rubimar. Rubimar. It's the Rubimar. Wow. I'm still learning how to read, apparently. Intelligence had confirmed two locations near Hudaida. Wait, Hudaida? Again, I'm working on it. As being involved with the Houthi anti-shipping attacks, with number of buildings identified as housing drone ground control facilities and providing storage for very long-range drones, as well as surface-to-air weapons used to impede coalition operations to safeguard shipping in the region. Furthermore, a set of Houthi facilities at Gulayafeka. I am working on my Arabic as I read the Quran, so hang in there. I'll get it. Further south on the Yemeni coast, had also been identified as being involved in command and control of their anti-shipping campaign. It's funny how they word their anti-shipping campaign when they're just controlling their waters. All right, on with the reading. Royal Air Force Typhoon FGR-4s therefore conducted strikes on the target buildings at these three locations using Pathway 4 guided bombs. As ever, the utmost care was taken in planning the strikes to minimize any risk to civilian or non-military infrastructure. Conducting the strikes in the hours of darkness should also have mitigated yet further any such risks. As ever with such missions, RAF Voyager tankers provided essential air refueling support to the Typhoons. And that's what we have so far of what's going on there. More establishing, but it's not making the airwaves. Just like beheaded babies are not making the airwaves here because they're brown. False claims of beheaded babies made the airwaves and everyone lost their shit. And what happened? What happened? People went crazy. It was debunked the next day. They couldn't verify it. It was debunked further on throughout the week. But for about 3 weeks, maybe a month, media was still promoting this heinous lie. Why? It's to paint a picture. And as someone had a discussion with me, when people see shocking stuff, maybe it's a defense mechanism, but you see something shocking and immediately, all right, they're the bad guys. This is what happened. F them up. F them all up. Oh, what? The whole country is run by the terrorists? They're all terrorists? F them all up. They all must die. Nikki Haley psychopath style. And yeah, so all right, I want you all to think with me for a second. Let's pick a terrorist group that has yet to be called a terrorist group because they still get support from the government. The KKK in America. Let's say a KKK group went out and let's see. Let's say they killed a bunch of South Koreans. All right. And then South Korea decides, this is all hypothetical, but it's painting a picture. So then South Korea goes, oh, the KKK, they killed all those innocent people of ours, and therefore we're going to kill every single white American in America. Oh, there's other people who are not white, but they're also American. Let's just kill all the Americans, and then we'll get rid of the KKK. Does that logic seem rational? No, and I made it up. It doesn't even seem possible. However, that's what's going on now. There's videos circulating around of Middle Eastern men with a half naked or mostly naked woman in the back of a pickup truck driving off, and people are yelling stuff, and then there's missed subtitles of what they're saying, and people are taking that as that is Hamas or all the Palestinians' belief system, therefore they should all die. Collective punishment is a war crime, ladies and gentlemen, because the actions of a group, of what they do, or what is lied of what they do, there's a mix of different things, but whichever way you know of what's going on, there is no doubt about it, an action of a group of people. Therefore, this defense solution that's being advertised to us is to kill every single person of that ethnicity who did it. They're not going on after the group of people who hurt that woman. They're not going after Hamas even. They're going after every single Palestinian person because they deem them all guilty for the actions of those people. That's collective punishment, ladies and gentlemen. Whichever information you believe, the propaganda or the truth, it's either one does not justify killing a whole demographic of people, men, women, and children. Yeah, a lot of you are okay with that. A lot of you are patriotically okay with that. A lot of you are religiously with your church okay with that. Now, if your faith requires the slaughter of innocent human beings, especially the slaughter of children, your faith is satanic as hell. And no matter how you mask it in whatever religion, you're only pleasing the devil when you kill and hurt people, especially in such a ways. I was thinking we could do a Quran study sometime. I was thinking about you in that. We should. I am down with that. Subhanallah, man. And if you, I don't know if you took Shahada yet, but I could actually help you with that. But we'll talk, brother. And yeah. So let's see what else was I gonna do. So okay, so let's backtrack a bit. So let's go back to the lie of beheaded babies and one of the biggest liars who supported it. And a lot of these clips I share and gather from my Instagram. So if you like these, check out my Instagram so you can see them all and more, especially my stories. And I will over as soon as I can, because I gotta pay the bills. I got a job. I will put links of what I'm sharing with y'all so you can check out that and more. So check this out. Here's a little breakdown of the first great lie by our president liar. Oops, sorry, that was a joke. I was saving for you later. Wait, where did it go? Oh my gosh, golly darn it, gee willikers. Oh, I didn't put it here. Anyways, I'm gonna get to that. Let's get to the comment. Sorry, this is a blooper. Not yet, brother. Hey, all in good time. All in good time. Man, I totally thought I had all this. Well, in the meantime, while I do this, check out this little joke this Instagram content creator made, and credits to her. I'm not monetizing this at all. If you heard the music in the beginning, I can't even do that. This is all for awareness for Palestine, and many of us who are for Palestine understand, and that is why we're doing this. But yeah, check out this little joke right here.
We're U.S. politicians. I can't do anything to stop a genocide. Best I can do is call you a terrorist. We're U.S. politicians. Don't ask me to care about dead kids. I just don't. We're U.S. politicians. I proudly represent the state of Maryland. Obviously. We're U.S. politicians. How do we sleep at night, you ask? Benzodiazepines. We're U.S. politicians. You think I care about voters? No, babes. We're U.S. politicians. Investing in public school systems is so communist. My donors prefer prisons. We're U.S. politicians. Stop being poor.
We're U.S. politicians. Stop being poor. Wow. There was one word in there I couldn't hear her, and it was not really subtitled well. But she's funny. Later on, check out the information in my YouTube channel. That's where you can see. That's where I keep up all dates. Also, check out the links to the charities I listed below, so you're able to do what you can where to help. However, there is an issue where settlers. If you don't know what a settler is someone who turns Jewish or is Jewish from a different country and goes to Palestine, Israel, and they get to bully, steal, kill any Palestinian they want. and no one harms them. And these settlers have been stopping humanitarian aid and food trucks from going into Hamz to help the people there. Hopefully not getting a double back sign. This thing won't let me silence it. Yeah, there we go. Sorry, hopefully the mic didn't pick up that and it was all crazy. Man, this video is taking a while to process. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, I didn't upload it. Dang it, I thought I was all ready. So the president liar and the first big lie that killed so many people.
I never really thought that I would see and have confirmed pictures of terrorists beheading children.
How is it that a fake beheaded baby gets more anger and more outrage than real ones? Netanyahu commented on this massacre, saying it was a catastrophic error and an investigation is underway. Just like the flower massacre, they fumbled with 100 explanations and ended up with, it's not our fault, we didn't mean it. You know what's truly going on right now? It's just like the Baptist hospital. They committed an atrocity but thought the world would turn a blind eye like every other time. When there was an uproar, albeit it lasted only 15 minutes, but an uproar nonetheless, they said it's not us, we'd never attack a hospital. Are you kidding?
I repeat, this is the responsibility of Islamic Jihad that killed innocents in the hospital in Gaza.
Fast forward a few months later, hospitals are not just attacked, they're demolished. Same as every other asylum. That's what's happening right now. They'll commit the Rafah massacre again if the international community stays silent.
Sadly, following the strike due to an unforeseen circumstances, a fire ignited, tragically taking the lives of Gazan civilians nearby. Despite our efforts to minimize civilian casualties during the strike, the fire that broke out was unexpected and unintended.
If you're truly looking for Hamas, then just go for the ones that are in front of your tanks. There aren't any Hamas members next to the burnt and beheaded bodies of children. Real beheaded bodies of children.
100 مرة حكينا ما حدش يصف دبابته على باب البيت. إيه الناس فعلا ما بتفهم.
So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is quite annoying. Quite annoying that our government is so acting stupid. Now, I joke that since COVID, our intelligence department in our government downsized or got deleted. They know and see exactly what we're doing, but they're what's going on in the world, what we're saying. They know it. They know as much as we do, but they're acting like they don't, and they're stating otherwise. Why? It's because they need to get it in writing in. They need to get it on the record what they believe that they're doing. They, as in our United States government, they want to get written in stone with evidence and documented and all official and all their nonsense that what they're doing is for the reasons that they are stating, not necessarily the truth. There's a joke in that Aladdin Disney movie where Jafar, disguised as a beggar, tells Aladdin in a prison cell, he's like, you know the golden rule, boy. Those who have the gold make the rules. So, gold, power, riches. So, at the end of this, if they get to kill every single Palestinian and rebuild Gaza as they want to, as they said they are going to, actually, watch the rest of my content. I go over it. They I believe that they believe that once they get what they need, they'll just continue to do the propaganda, rewrite history because they won. Just like it's so hard to find Black history in our history classes or even Native American history. It's not even existent there. You just get some little cartoon version of what Thanksgiving was about, and not the 700 Sioux tribe people that were massacred, and then they had a Thanksgiving in that name of that massacre. Disgusting. So I guess it's bad PR for the holiday to advertise the truth. So you just make up something, whatever gets people to keep buying every month and every season is something to do to put your money in, and at the same time celebrate genocide and taking over land and slaughtering people. It's really disgusting and it's blatant, and we all know it. And is that video? Maybe I did upload it twice. Oh my golly gee willikers. So with everything on this weekend with Rafa, that I also went over in my last episode, most recent episode, this episode before it. I showed John Kirby's responses to some questions. This other content creator on Instagram, she does the fitness stuff, but she's also turned her Instagram, like I turned my Instagram, into awareness posts of what's going on in Gaza as it's happening, as we are all getting it. And check it out before there's another rule where they take away freedom of speech and then they silence us, like they claim the other communist and extremist countries do, that we actually are doing on the side. It just in America, you just get bullied and attacked when you speak the truth that goes against the grain of what the government is trying to invest in, and with corruption and slaughter and killing and people and expanding land and territory and the precious gas and oils and diamonds out of there, wherever. So check out this interesting discussion with John Kirby.
Or just maybe you would help to explain what is a major ground operation when it comes to the Biden administration.
Well, I already did that, but I'm happy to do it again. Now, first of all, I am not the IDF spokesman, and this is not Tel Aviv. This is the White House press briefing room. And I am not, today or any other day, going to take it upon myself to speak to Israeli military operations, the planning, the intent, and the tactics that they're using. You should be asking Admiral Hagari that question. He's the IDF spokesman, not me. And they were going to go after Hamas terrorists in as precise a way as possible, that they were not going to, quote unquote, smash into Rafah with a lot of ground forces. As you and I speak here today, that is still the case. We have not seen them smash into Rafah. We have not seen them go in with large units, large numbers of troops, in columns and formations, in some sort of coordinated maneuver against multiple targets on the ground. That is a major ground operation. We have not seen that.
Shout out to Core Fitness by Naz, who made that little compilation. Very wonderful. So here's the BS thing that the Biden administration is dedicated to. What they do is they'll make a rule. Lately, they're doing this. They're saying, okay, we don't want you to invade Rafah. What is invasion? Now they've redefined what invasion is. It's like no ground troops going in there. No ground troops going in front of the people, and like how IDF usually sends ground troops into people's homes without any provocation, no warrants or anything. They just go in there, take their children, and if it gets rough, they'll kill them or whatever, and then they have more Palestinian hostages. I guess Biden administration is saying that you can't do that in Rafah. You can do it everywhere else, but you can't have a lot of soldiers going in and do that. But what you can do, apparently, according to Biden and John Kirby here, is you can drive the tanks around the non-population Rafah area. I forgot what they defined it. But if it's on the other side around Rafah, it's okay to be there. And you can't storm it. But using missiles? Sure, why not? Shoot missiles into there. So if you're being careful and you want to get the Hamas enemies that are there, and according to Biden, he's going to pull funding if you send troops going inside, looking at, where the enemies are. It's actually more precise and safer for civilians to just shoot missiles into the area where you think that they are. Missiles explode. Fire happens because there's a lot of explosion. That's a good way to keep civilians safe, shooting in the areas where civilians are. And I keep hearing this thing where they have reason to believe that there's a possibility that so and so is there. Like they take some names out of the hat and they say so and so is responsible for this and that. And Yeah, shooting missiles into places that are densely populated with civilians who are unarmed, who are starving to death, who have lost family members, who don't even know what's going on. They don't even have a home. It's just a bunch of plastic tent, and then yeah, you're gonna shoot missiles in there. Yeah, just to get like two guys, you're gonna shoot a bunch of missiles. Oh, not just that, but do I still have that picture? Oh, but not just shoot missiles into there. You will also take a selfie. Oh, isn't that cute? Just a little, no, well, not a selfie. Someone's taking a picture for him, so it's not necessarily a selfie. But you'll take a picture of all the hard work you did from a safe distance, because God forbid if you sent soldiers in there looking for the Hamas um, terrorists, uh, that you would actually get in a fight with them, and you would make Biden uncomfortable, because 35,000 dead civilians, it's not enough for Biden to say this is too much, or the Biden administration says that, zero civilian casualties is ideal. They're trying to minimize civilian casualties. Someone even asked on my other video how many charred bodies is too much, and they said we resent that. But 35,000 innocent civilians, men, women, and children, it's not enough for America to go, whoa, this is too crazy. Because according to America, not the rest of the world, in an international court of justice, which found this to be a legit genocide when they had a huge court hearing and a huge gathering, and it was presented to the world officially on paper that it is a genocide. But America said, oh, well, we investigated and we couldn't find any proof that it's a genocide. So I guess if an American government says it's not genocide, it doesn't matter what everyone else says. So yeah, according to America, this is not genocide, and this is all safe precision, shooting bombs into people, and that is, the safest thing to do, because God forbid a ground invasion goes in there. So it's way more humanitarian to shoot missiles in there made by Boeing, right? And take a picture of the great work you did while there's a bunch of families and children screaming and crying in the background. Take a good smile for your woman back home. Wow, isn't that cute? It's something, ladies and gentlemen. It's really, really something. All right, we got an awesome comment. Let's see. Joe Biden is trash. Yes. I thought of a good name for Joe Biden. Check it out. We know him as Genocide Joe. That's his first name, but I got a new last name for Joe Biden. We could say Genocide Joe lied again. See, it's like Biden lied again. Biden lied again. Lied again. So yeah, Genocide Joe lied again. And yeah, I heard gloat for Trump, which is kind of funny. The acronym there. I have to find it for you. So yeah, and here we are. So it is very, 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 very bothersome, ladies and gentlemen, this government we have that is so proud to say we're not a fascist government. People have freedom of speech, but as soon as students start having a peaceful encampment protest on the campuses that they and their families spend so much thousands of dollars for them to get an education that's impressive on their stamp, so when they graduate they can get a good job, then they could spend half of their career paying off the student loans and whatever, that these kids decide that they don't like what's going on with the school system, and taking a lot of that money to fund the genocide in Israel and a whole bunch of other stuff. The students are actually very detailed and they're very concerned of what they're doing. So they have a peaceful encampment. They sit there, they all relax, they have speeches. I even saw some beautiful dancing, some Punjabi dancing. It was awesome. Different cultures stand up. These kids are Christian, they're Muslim, they're Jewish, agnostic, atheist, whatever. They're good people, and they all know the truth because they actually do their homework. They're not just waiting for bullshit from Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, all the stuff that's funded by, powers that be that want you to think a certain way. And God forbid that you know anything more than they want you to think. And God forbid if they have you question what's going on. And God forbid they have you look for the truth. Oh my lordy, lordy, lordy. So yeah, I have to look up this. I just want to get the name right. Let's see. No, it wasn't him. Who was it with? It was a recent one. It was a really good interview. Really good interview. Really good interview. No. Apparently the good interview isn't showing up on my search. Huh. Sheesh. So I ended a clip of the, while I look at this, I don't want to bore you guys with me just going, oh. So I'll play a clip on how I ended the last video because Hamz is so on point and you should hear him again. Follow and support him on Instagram. I have a link on the last video episode in his in the description of my last video, a link to his account there. Check it out, support him, follow him because he's shadow banned really hard, but so many people are supporting him so that the truth can continuously be eloquently told through him. And it'll give me some time to look up what I'm looking up to continue the show.
Hey Biden, where are you at? Hey Blinken, where are you at? Hey Western leaders, where are you at? Hey Sky News, Associated Press, CNN, BBC, ABC, NBC, CBS, fucking XYZ, where are you at? Israel fed you lies on beheaded babies, and within milliseconds, you ran with it. Israel fed you lies about rape, and within milliseconds, you ran with it. Israel fed you lies through repurposed propaganda videos filled with false Arabic translations, and within milliseconds, you ran with it. Israel fed you lies about 1,400 killed Israeli civilians, and within milliseconds, you ran with it. Every single one of these has been proven false by even the Israeli media. And many of you piece of shit politicians, including our satanic president, still spew these lies that have been debunked since 8 months ago. And not only that, you still continue your atrocity propaganda until this day, as if there's any fucking narrative left for you to save in their most blatantly and overtly in your face, Nazi-like evil regime. Look at this hell on earth that is Rafah from today. It has been a hell on earth every damn day for the past 8 months, but today exceeded it all, where Israel went literal scorched earth in retaliation to their being ostracized as a pariah by the entire international community. Just when you think they couldn't get any lower, they set a new standard of low, and that low is all the way in the depths of hell. We literally just witnessed real decapitated Palestinian babies. We literally just witnessed real Palestinian babies burned to a fucking crisp. We have physical, photographic, and video evidence coupled with IOF videos and Zionist messages gloating about this massacre that even Israeli news media confirmed happened. This is what they do. With every condemnation comes a retaliatory onslaught on the innocent Palestinian civilian population, times 1,000,000-fold. A vengeful, bloodthirsty, psychopathic bully trying to exact the most painful revenge because the whole world hates them. It's a runaway rogue train without any brakes, and all the Western countries and news media are on board. There is literal video evidence of rogue IOF soldiers calling for a military coup if the government tries to stop the continued genocide of the Palestinian people. There are committed soldiers ready to go against all orders in order to surround Gaza and continue the murdering. And to supplement this evidence, we have active Israeli government officials currently calling for the mass forced displacement and illegal settlement through land theft of Gaza after all is said and done. And what happens with all of this news out in the open? With evidence of beheaded and burned Palestinian babies? Fucking crickets! Complete silence from our Western news media. Complete silence from our U.S. government. The only sound chirping is the Israeli government scrambling, trying to put out more propaganda, saying it was faulty Hamas missiles that hit this refugee camp filled with thousands of Palestinians, predominantly women and children, sheltering in tents. In tents! They even had the audacity to reference these airstrikes as faulty Hamas missiles, similar to the faulty missiles that hit the hospital back in the beginning of this shit show. You know, well before Israel bombed the rest of the fucking hospitals in all of Gaza. So let me scream this again. We have clear footage of beheaded and burned Palestinian babies from today. Where the fuck is the outrage? Where the fuck is your spreading like wildfire news coverage of this? You still filtering the footage you want to air through the Israeli government and IOF, you disgusting cowards? You getting your Memorial Day barbecuing on while Israel is fucking barbecuing children? Don't you want to be the first to break the story? Huh? Isn't that what you pride yourselves on? Being the first to tell a true breaking story with a plethora of evidence? No, that doesn't apply for the Palestinians, huh? You vile racists. You journalistic malpracticing genocidal fuel to the fire assholes. Those real beheaded babies and burned babies are on you. Every single one of you. And I don't give a shit what anyone does to me at this point anymore. Dox me, fire me, don't hire me. I could care less what you put me through. Because I know that every fucking ounce of my anger right now is not only justified, but absolutely necessary to topple your evil empires and make every single one of you Zionist pieces of shit look like the scum that you are. And I will say this directly on camera. Israel must be dismantled in every single way possible. And to those of you that say, Mo, you'd get your point across way better if you weren't so angry with all the yelling and profanity, I respectfully say you can go kick rocks. Because if I were the one holding up one of my children up in the air, burnt and beheaded, I'd want you louder, angrier, and more profane than I am right now. Because there's no other option with all that we've witnessed thus far. So let's see how you guys report on this in the next 24 hours. Will you disgusting creatures of habit eat up the standard propaganda? Or will you finally flip the script and flip the fucking table on Israel and their puppet government of the United States? You think we're just going to sit there and watch not only our people as a whole get wiped off the map, but more specifically, our children get strategically targeted, tortured, and massacred? You think we're just going to see all of this while you help them do all of this and do nothing? And listen to what I'm about to tell you. You think we're disruptive now? Just you fucking wait. Us Palestinian diaspora living in the Western world have always felt like we've been living in the belly of the beast, filled with racism, dehumanization, hate, and corruption. But I want you all to know that we've eaten our way out of that belly, and we have become the beasts that are going to swallow all of you up whole. And we are not a beast to be fucked with. Mark my words.
You all should be as angry as him as I was. And that was a while ago. We're almost approaching a week since a massacre of Rafah by bombs, fire. So Mehdi, he is a fantastic journalist, and I like how he goes about letting you know what's up. He should never have been fired, but we know why. But here's a clip from his work.
I was sitting at a family wedding on Sunday night when I made the mistake of going on my phone and checking in on Twitter. I was confronted, as I'm sure many of you were, with horrific, heartbreaking, infuriating images straight out of what hell must look like. But it wasn't hell I was looking at. It was Rafah in Gaza. It was a group of burning, bombed-out tents in what was supposed to be a safe zone, if such a thing even exists in Gaza today. I was looking at gruesome images of Palestinian civilians burned alive, grotesque images of Palestinian children in pieces, shocking images of a Palestinian toddler without a head. Think about the astonishingly cruel irony at play here. After October the 7th, a lie went around the world. A lie went viral, with the Israelis falsely claiming that they had found 40 dead babies beheaded by Hamas. Beheaded babies. It wasn't true, it was promptly debunked, and yet it was cynically used for weeks, for months, even today, as part of a pro-Israel PR campaign to justify the ongoing genocidal assault on Gaza. On Sunday night, we saw an actual beheaded baby decapitated by Israeli ordnance, not imaginary beheaded babies, not the ones Joe Biden claimed to have seen pictures of, even though no such pictures exist, because no such beheaded Israeli babies, thankfully, exist. And yet we live in a world where non-existent images of imaginary beheaded Israeli children can help launch a genocidal war, but actual images of real-life beheaded Palestinian children don't force the entire world to bring an immediate halt to that war. Such is the level of Palestinian dehumanization, such is the disregard for innocent Palestinian lives. Now, the response from the Israeli military and the pro-Israel crowd more broadly is, of course, but Hamas. Hamas were firing rockets from near that location. Plus, 2 Hamas commanders were allegedly killed in the Israeli airstrike, so that makes it okay. It makes it legal to attack that location, they say. As the pro-Israel side loves to point out, Article 28 of the 4th Geneva Convention says the presence of a protected person may not be used to render certain points or areas immune from military operations. So it was fine to bomb that Rafah location on Sunday night, they say. except as former Biden administration humanitarian official Jeremy Konyndyk, who is now president of Refugees International, as he pointed out, quote, not immune from military operations doesn't mean feel free to bombard a tent camp. Hamas's violations of international law don't magically permit IDF violations. Article 28 is not a hall pass that waives obligations of distinction and proportionality. And yet, Konyndyck's former colleagues in the Biden administration haven't had much to say since Sunday about the horror show in Rafah. Instead, we are greeted with bizarre and offensive headlines about the White House assessing if Israel violated red line with Rafah strike. Bizarre because if massacring a bunch of refugee kids inside of literal tents isn't a violation of the red line on major offensive operations in Rafah, then what on earth is? And offensive because, well, we all know the White House knows that Israel knows it crossed Biden's red line. But the White House would rather pretend it requires some sort of assessment, which won't happen, and is thereby taking us all for fools, offending our collective intelligence. The truth is that what happened in Rafah this past weekend was a reminder, if you still needed one, that there is no red line. There is no pink line. There is no line. There is nothing, it seems, that Israel can do, whether it's bombing a hospital, besieging a church, killing Jose Andreas' World Central Kitchen staff in a humanitarian convoy, or now decapitating small children, that will force Joe Biden's hand or pause U.S. military aid for Israel or make our leaders here in the United States disown Benjamin Netanyahu and his non-stop war crimes. Biden will continue to shamefully fiddle as Rafah literally burns.
Check out Zetio.com, ladies and gentlemen, and get more of that. It is a genocide. I'm not going to be, like I said, I'm not going to go backwards with any fools. I'm not, because every time I ask the people who are pro-genocide, sorry, I'm going to call it as it is. Y'all are pro-genocide if you're not for pro-freedom of the Palestinian people and ending this ethnic cleansing that is blatant as fuck. I am a bit more profane, and I'm going to have to pray for that, so forgive me. The thing is, I really want you to get, I want to get this, you guys have to understand how serious this is. It's, because every time I ask a pro-genocider about what is going on, like I ask him questions like, okay, if this is self-defense, how is sniping children in women's arms defending your people and nation? How is having a tank run over bodies on the ground defending? How is it self-defense to send bunker bombs on apartments? How is it self-defense to send Hellfire missiles into hospital wards? Where's the self-defense in having snipers take out nurses? Where's the self-defense in taking a doctor, imprisoning him, beating him to death? And where's the self-defense in having drones emit sounds of crying Palestinian children to draw Palestinians out and then kill them? Where's the self-defense in having drones also drop bombs on these people? Where's the self-defense of shooting missiles that you use on tanks, missiles you use on other weapons, and not just weapons, other vehicles of like jets or like warships, but you use those missiles on tents of people? I never get an answer. And all I get is repeated slogans and slander. That's all I get. No one on the pro-genocide front has answers for the actions that they do, other than the children of Palestine brought this upon themselves, other than that every single Palestinian in that area are terrorists. I only get the thing that all of them are Hamas. So these people, when they see the Palestinian flag, they see the terrorist Hamas, you know what I'm saying? They don't see that represents people. They don't see that that represents a nation, a culture that's been wiped out and erased. They don't see that that flag represents the people who are the original Canaanites, the people who are descendants of the Hebrews. It's been found out. Why do you think it's illegal for people in Israel to do a genealogy DNA test? Because they'll find out the truth that they don't really belong to that land. The Palestinians do. Palestinian Muslims, Palestinian Christians, Palestinian Jews. This isn't even about religion. They use religion as a victim card. They use religion as a justification card and a right to own land over people who rightfully live and own that land for many, many, many years and generations. But don't take it from me. Here is Rabbi Elhanan Beck, and this was actually made. This was actually posted 6 months ago, and he has a lot of good, powerful words that I'm going to share with you right now. Make that pop. There we go. Here we go. Actually, let me do it this way. Oh, actually, it doesn't work. Let's do it back this way.
My message to the people of Gaza, we Jewish rabbis all over the world, people looks like me, are in supporting of you, are crying for you. What's going on in Gaza? And especially it's a shame that everything has been done in my name, in the name of Jewish people. And worse than that, in the name of the Torah, in the name of God. It's everything, it's false. This is not a religious conflict. This is not a conflict between Jews and Muslims. Jews and Muslims live together and we want to live together. We live together for centuries. We are thankful for the Muslims, for the good hospitality that they gave for the Jewish people all the years. We know Jewish people live peacefully in all the Muslim countries, Morocco, Algeria, Tunis, Egypt, Yemen, Iran, Turkey, everywhere. The Jewish demand, the Torah demand that the whole Palestine, not only Gaza, the whole Palestine should go back for the Palestinian people. The Zionists have no right to rule even 1 inch of the land. And there will be no solution until that state of Israel will come to an end. Prophet Moses told for the Jewish people, a rebellion against God cannot be succeed. Jews are in exile today by divine decree. They have no right to go out of exile to rule any land. So the state of Israel is a rebellion against the Almighty. They will not succeed. I know there are 75 years already. God gives sometimes the power for the evil, but only for a certain time. However, I'm a Jew, I'm a Palestinian Jew. I want to go back, but I will never step into the Israeli occupied land for no other reason. I want to go back, but I want to go back with my Palestinian passport. And I'm sure I will get it. I will hope it will be soon. I know that Israel say we have the right to defend ourselves. But who gives you the right in the first hand to be there? Who gives you the right to be in someone's land? Get out of the land what you rob away from other people. The only solution is to correct this wrongness from the root. And this is to give back for the Palestinians the whole land from the river to the sea. I myself am standing between 500,000 Palestinians. Nobody say me even one bad word. Everybody welcome us. This is not anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. It's exactly the opposite. Zionism is the creators of anti-Semitism. If not Zionism, if not the state of Israel, it was peace in the Middle East, Jews and Muslims standing together for justice and for peace. And it will come. It will come. Jews and Muslims will celebrate together a free Palestine.
I look forward to that day, inshallah. So, if I want to know more about Palestine, I want to get to know it from Palestinians, not a Westerner who deems them terrorists because of the color of their skin and the region of their nationality. If I want to know more about Judaism, I want to talk to a rabbi. I want to talk to a practicing Jewish person, not a Zionist, not someone who's studying the Talmud. I want to know from someone who studies the Torah. I've already, we're seeing the Talmud and the Zionist act. We know much about them already. And if you see my channel, I've shared some stuff about that too. He's a fantastic human being. And I have another clip with him for you. And he's not in a massive group of people, so he could talk more calmly and you can hear him here. And this one was made a year ago. Wait, was it Kojay? Let's double check. By the way, I hope I got better with talking on my speech impediment issues. Yeah, this was a year later, or a year ago, I should say. Oh, it's one of those. Okay, so all right, cool. Okay, that's how it's cropped. Here we go, and let's hear more from him.
As a Jewish rabbi, I find very important to come to the Al-Quds March, what is going on every year. Zionism is a rebellion against the Almighty who sent Jewish people in exile to stay in exile, not to rebel against the nations, not to take over the Holy Land by force. Zionism is against every aspect of humanity, where they're robbing away and they kill so many Palestinians, and constantly up to today's day, every day are Palestinians killed for nothing. They rob away the land from them. This wrong should be rectified. We are not supporting a two-state solution at all. If somebody takes over, rob away someone else's house and then come out, oh, I'm looking for peace. I want to make the house half and half. I mean, what's peace in that? First thing is, if you want peace, give back the house. And the same thing here. From the river to the sea should go back for the Palestinians in full. And then we can live in peace, Jews, Muslims, all other people together. The Zionists say they have to protect Jews from anti-Semitism, not to be another Holocaust. The truth is exactly the opposite. Zionism is only raising anti-Semitism in the world today. They endanger Jewish people all over the world. The only way to bring peace over the world is that the state of Israel should come to an end, and a peaceful end. Nobody looks for bloodshed. We hope and we pray to God to be soon in our days, and then we can live in Palestine together with the Palestinians like we lived for centuries together, and like we live in all the Muslim countries together in peace.
Beautiful. The truth is beautiful. The lie is harmful. The lie is what our media invests in. This genocide is where our tax dollars and our people in power are investing billions of dollars that should be coming home to America. They're investing in another country. I hear extreme conservatives always blame another country as the threat to America. They want to take over America, be it China, Russia, or whoever. Yet we've been bought out by another country already. The lobbyists, the APACs, the Kufis, the list goes on. And our politicians, red or blue, will and have and are bending over backwards for another country. Like I said, they take billions of dollars from Americans, give it over there. They take $1 million of that to give to the politician that sent that money there. Then they go and grab some more money, billions of dollars from Americans, and they put it all in another country. And they take a million from that billions and give it back to the politician that helped them do it, and the future politicians that guarantee that going forwards as America goes on forward. So the thing of Democrats bringing more illegals into the country and all these other people to overpopulate it and be more Democrats and vote for the Democrats still plays to the same team. And while they're doing that, the Republicans are like, build a wall, keep everyone out of our country. But then when you build enough walls, let's say they do get their walls, then America will be this huge walled off country that looks just like Gaza. It'll be a Gaza 2.0, and then they'll put military outposts and all those facing at people, make sure no one goes in America. But then at that time, we'll be overpopulated. We will be sucked dry and blowing away in the wind, as Benjamin Netanyahu or Benjamin Milkowski has said, that America can just wipe away in the end when they take everything from us. So when they have everything from us, we will legit be a third world country, and all those guns pointing outside away from America will just simply turn back into America, and will be a Gaza 2.0. And all the people in that high 1%, 2%, whatever class of people, of politicians who supported that white supremacist nation of it's not real, will then just relocate over there, and their future families will do that there, because this is for the long run, ladies and gentlemen. The long run. And they're trying to build the great Israel. They can't do that unless they get rid of the people that they are occupying. And again, I played this from my other video. I'll play it again because it's very important. And especially since I'm on multiple platforms this time around. This is a former IDF soldier explaining the great plan of the great Israel.
Eventually, our borders will extend from Lebanon to the Great Desert, which is Saudi Arabia, and then from the Mediterranean to the Euphrates. And who's on the other side of the Euphrates? The Kurds. And the Kurds are our friends. So we have the Mediterranean behind us, the Kurds in front of us, Lebanon, which really needs the umbrella of protection of Israel. And then we're going to take, I believe we're going to take Mecca, Medina, and Mount Sinai and purify those places.
You know, it's...
Purify those places. Purify those places. That's the most quickest way to say genocide. And we as Americans should be outraged that we're being used as bitches for another country. And I'm saying that non-gender specific. But yeah, we are another country's bitch. So when I see people parading this propaganda to support this genocidal regime and country, that is a proud bitch. PB and jelly there. Proud bitch and jelly. And we should all be angry. I shared this. I collabed with Jessica Q. You should check out the interview I have with her. I'm looking forward to bringing her back on. She's amazing and a wonderful human being, a strong woman, a successful entrepreneur, and very, very knowledgeable and outspoken. And she speaks the truth. She speaks her mind. So we got to collab and post this on our Instagram content, and I'm going to share it with you today. It's from the Young Turks, who have been very awesome with covering the information with what's going on in Palestine.
If Israel wants to carry out war crimes, they shouldn't do it with our money. But you can't, on one hand, demand that American taxpayers who are desperate for a better life here in America, they need to hand over billions of dollars to the Israeli government and the IDF, and we need to shut the F up about any of our critique. AIPAC is evil. AIPAC is evil, evil. My fellow Americans, are you okay with that? Are you okay with a lobbying group representing the best interests of a foreign government telling you you need to bust your ass every day, work a job that you likely hate, and have a portion of your earnings taken from you by our federal government and funneled to the Israeli government so they can commit atrocities in the Gaza Strip? Are you okay with that? Because I'm not okay with that. And nothing gets under my skin more, okay, than hearing these pieces of crap say things that make it clear that they feel entitled to our money. Entitled. That gets under my skin more than you guys understand.
How's that not getting under your skin? I'm actually thinking if you don't get under your skin, if that doesn't get under your skin, I should say, and you're not being vocal about this as I am, this you can take this as a hot take. I don't care. You are not a real American. You're not a true American. All our hard work should go back to America. Yes, we're like supposedly the peacekeepers of the world, but our government is not the peacekeepers of the world. We are not G.I. Joe. Our government is not G.I. Joe. Our government is Cobra. And we have Cobra Commander, like an old messed up version of Cobra Commander, running this country for another country. That should piss every single hardworking, dedicated, patriotic American off. And that it's not just tells me how much PB and jellies are out there. Dang. Just that realization just takes me back. It's crazy. It's crazy. And the slander towards our students doing these encampments to peacefully protest are slandered with saying that they're for Hamas, that what they're doing is wrong. Look at history. Students have used their campus to protest things going on in the world and bettered America by making a change. Not a great change because the corruption was still there and the support for this it isn't real nation was still implied and still going on. But to stop catastrophes should be everyone's main goal. And this catastrophe is going on for 8 months, going on to 9. 9 months. This terror, this is going to be birthing that normalizes genocide and ethnic cleansing of a whole demographic of people. They'll just destroy every single human being in Gaza, and they'll rebuild it, and they'll make some, I know they'll make some hotel resort getaway at such a great price. Oh my gosh, we got to go. Why spend a lot of money, go to Hawaii? Why spend a lot of money, go to Vegas? We could just go to Israel in Gaza because now it's purified and it's so cheap. Oh my gosh, let's go here. Great time. Oh, the beaches are beautiful. La la la. While you're sipping your Mai Tais on top of the ground spilled with children's blood and innocent people's corpses that have been dragged around there. The death stench slightly in the air. You won't notice it because you'll be too drunk off of idiocy and self-entitlement. That's going to be the future. They get away with it. That's why they're moving at such a pace. That's why they're so sloppy. They're trying to not be so direct because they know the cameras are on them. The arrest warrants are out. And Benjamin Netanyahu was so excited that he's going to be protected from America from all this stuff. And it's just disgusting to me. It's disgusting. But yo, the story of some of our law enforcement, certain factions of our law enforcement trained by IDF on how to abuse people because they're so good at it. The whole cop city that they're making a whole area so cops can practice going into suburbs and beating people up and abducting them, hurting them, possibly killing them. Trained by the IDF. And what did we see when all the students were being attacked? By Zionists. The cops were watching it. My teacher, she said that she was there. The cops came to buses and they let the Zionist mobs beat these kids. And then when that was out, because they need to, I think they did that because they needed to see and televise that there's violence at these encampments with these students. And they never said who started it and who's attacking them. They said, oh, a fight's going on. Oh, someone hit him with a 4x4. Oh my gosh. Turning into some kind of wrestling event. And the beautiful thing about wrestling is that it's fiction. The horrible thing about real life is that it's real. The violence is horrible, and they needed to show violence at the encampments. Why? So they could get that picture in your head that these protests, these peaceful protests, are actually violent. And they want to advertise in your head that as soon as you see the Palestinian flag with these kids, that it's Hamas terrorists. It's not for peace. It's not for the people of Palestine. They want you to think the opposite. They want you to think that the violence is the kids, even though the kids have been doing this for 2 weeks before all the violence was brought to them by the Zionist mobs. One kid was caught on camera, and he was enlisted in the IOF. The kid who was violently in a mask and violently hurting other students and did damage, did bodily harm, and then they caught him off camera with his mask off, and then he got a one-way ticket to join the IOF soldiers. Wow. So they promote you for hurting people. Then after they got known that, oh, there's some violence at these things, what did we see next? We see police squads with bulletproof vests, their military helmets that they wear with the goggles, shields, batons, pepper spray, even K9 units going in at these kids with no weapons, who are just singing songs with kefias on and making their stance because their message needs to be heard. They're protesting a good cause against the war, and then you bring SWAT team geared up people, soldiers, essentially police soldiers, at these kids. That's excessive. You could just have had a regular police officer with no gear on. The kids aren't going to attack you. In fact, they were just like, no, we're not leaving. And then they just pull them and pepper spray them and hit them. You really had to go at a bunch of students with all that protective gear. What? All right, we're talking about, who's being a little pathetic bitch here. What do you call that shit? Like, seriously, you're going to have a cop with protective gear going after a peace preaching vegan? Like what do you need all that protective gear for? What are you protecting yourself? Someone to come at you with iron deficiency? What the fuck is that? It makes no sense. This is all intimidation, bullying tactics from the IOF, from the IDF, brought into America, because guess who controls this country? Not our politicians. Our politicians are really just the bounty hunters, the hitmen that are hired by a different country. And the Young Turks, I'm not going to play the whole video, but the Young Turks uncovered a very fascinating information thing. So the White House speakers have said that, no, these students, we didn't say that the protests are anti-Semitic, but we see anti-Semitic imagery by some of the protesters. Now, what this government has claimed is anti-Semitic isn't really anti-Semitic. Pretty much saying genocide is wrong is anti-Semitic, apparently. Criticizing the government of Israel for hurting people and having this apartheid law and regime is apparently anti-Semitic. And calling out Netanyahu and Joe Biden for their war crimes is anti-Semitic, because those are the signs I've seen at the protests. I go to these protests, ladies and gentlemen. I see what's going on, and I can tell you firsthand that what they're saying and what's going on isn't true. Nothing's anti-Semitic. In fact, like I said, all people, different walks of life, are protesting against this genocide. They're calling it anti-Semitic because they want to vilify the message. They want to kill the messenger. They want to slander because they are in the wrong. And the Young Turks uncovered this really cool information I'm going to share with you right now. And I'm not going to show the whole video. I'll give the link, of course, so you can check it out in the description below after the show. And this is pretty cool.
We need reporters. We need people figuring out about the funding, not just of this, but the radicalization of our students on college campuses on this issue.
Some of these protesters are spontaneous and organic and sincere. Some, I think, are connected to Russia.
Qatar? Maybe, I believe they're the largest contributor to American universities over the past decade. Qatar. They have poured hundreds of millions of dollars into American universities to have a radicalizing effect on Middle Eastern studies. And I must say...
All right, I got to pause it right there. Notice how they... Notice how they always like to shoehorn in with their slander another nation or government that they want you to hate and think as the enemy, because they plan to attack other people later. So they want to build the prejudice, the stereotype in the negative fashion for them. And let's get back to the video.
It has worked.
Do you think some of these protests are Russian plants?
I don't think they're plants. I think some financing should be investigated.
It was a Jewish family. The funding for the college protest came from a Jewish family. That's what the Daily Beast found. They did a little bit of digging and they found that it actually happens to be an American Jewish family. And I love it. I just love it so much. Because notice how Scarborough never went back to the story after the results of this investigation determined that it wasn't Qatar. There's no nefarious figure funding pro-peace protests on college campuses.
That is rich. That is rich, ladies and gentlemen. That is rich. Again, dude, this show today, which is going on longer on this subject. I have other topics, but our government has spewed so much lies that the result of the lies being bought and invested in has resulted in the deaths of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. And not enough of Americans are having a problem with this. That is another problem. So I don't know what you have, this comfort zone bubble of what you think is nice. And I mean, it's easy to go, oh, they're the bad guys, they're the problem. We'll just wait until you kill them all. And then it's easy. Then I could go about my day and, oh, the video games, oh, the sports game, and then you go on with your regular bullshit because you don't care. And then you keep funding this, and then the whole machine keeps going. It's just crazy. So she's gonna share a little bit more details. I want to hear a little bit more with y'all.
Report by the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy, which actually happens to be an Israeli-backed think tank, ranked the Bafrayung Fund as the single largest sponsor of pro-Palestinian activist groups involved in campus demonstrations and adjacent actions. So that fund is where the money's coming from. Now, who's behind the fund? Well, the Institute's tabulations, by the way, let me just pause. Let's pause, come back to me, because I have to say something. I just love that an Israeli-backed think tank was like, we're gonna get to the bottom of this, okay? We're gonna find out what kind of nefarious pro-Hamas figures have been funding these dangerous college protesters who built encampments and remained in the encampments to just ask their university administrators to stop, investing their money in weapons manufacturers and basically corporations that are tied to Israel and its war on Gaza. Like, we would like them to divest from those companies. That is literally what the main point of those protests were.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
Now, were there a few unhinged people that the media would hyper focus on in order to paint a picture about all the protesters? Sure. But the heart of that protest and the vast majority of those protesters were protesting for peace. They want the bloodshed to end. But the Israeli-backed think tank is like, no, this can't possibly be funded by good people. It can't be backed by good people. There must be a nefarious individual behind all of this. And so they do their investigation and they find some amazing details. The Institute's tabulations appear to include donations to any organization that has ever supported or promoted pro-Palestinian events. The Bafrayung Fund ranks among the most consistent supporters of the Palestinian youth movement, which played a major role in the rash of encampments that spread throughout US colleges this year. So the fund also contributed substantially to two of the Palestinian youth movement's allies. That includes the Arab Resource and Organizing Center and Critical Resistance. Now, each of these organizations has employed the controversial slogan, "From the river to the sea," which critics, of course, have interpreted as wiping out Israel, doing away with Israelis entirely. That is not what it calls for. Look, honestly, the from the river to the sea notion, even if you interpret it in the best possible way as having a one-state solution where Israelis and Palestinians live peacefully side by side among one another, I don't think is a realistic goal. Certainly not now, but I at least appreciate the sentiment. I appreciate the aspirational goal of people living in a peaceful society together and no longer being enemies. That is the point. But of course, it gets misinterpreted. And I think a lot of the college students who do use that chant don't really understand what they're saying or how it's being negatively interpreted. Some do, some don't care. But it's just so interesting to me that these are the protesters who have been getting so much heat from our media. And behind these protesters is a 33-year-old woman by the name of Rachel Gelman, a Jewish American woman. Her cousin actually is a Jewish American member of Congress, Representative Dan Goldman from New York. So Biden even considered appointing Rachel's mother, Susie Gelman, for US ambassador to Israel. He ended up appointing her to a different position, US Commission on International Religious Freedom. I don't know what that is or what that does, but great, that was what she was appointed to instead. Now, Susie Gelman's grandfather was actually Walter Haas, who was a businessman who actually ended up building Levi Strauss into a global brand. So that's where they get a lot of their, family wealth from. But this is a Jewish family, and the money for these protests has come from specifically Rachel Gelman, who's behind the Bayfreyung Fund.
If you want to see more of that video, I'll provide the link down below. You could also Google it if you can't wait for me to get there as fast as I can. I'm a little slow in my ways, but yeah. Oh man, that was great. Isn't the truth wonderful? Sometimes the truth of what's going on in Gaza is disgusting. The genocide is disgusting, and but as I've said before, the groups I've marched with. Well, I marched with a new group this Monday on Memorial Day. That was like last minute. I think the next ones are going to be on the East Coast. That's where everyone's going. I cannot. So I'm going to do my due diligence of voicing up and using my platforms to be vocal. But back to the topic. Excuse me. The two groups I've marched with is Palestinian Youth Movement and Jewish Voices for Peace. And I've been saying since forever, from the river to the sea is for equal rights for every Palestinian in Palestine, now called Israel. That's what it means. Netanyahu used from river to sea for absolute victory, and his absolute victory from him and his cohorts was the elimination of everyone in Gaza and reducing Gaza to ruins. So his usage of from river to the sea was actually genocide. And everyone else in the world who is for freedom and the freedom of people and against genocide from river to the sea is for equal rights and freedom and for everyone to live peacefully. How hard is that? How hard is that? So yeah, a bunch of things in Palestine. We're going to end it on there before we get to new topic. Before we get to new topic, genocide is a problem everywhere. We have issues in Congo and Sudan and other places. Should we successfully, hopefully soon, end this genocide, where all the other genocides are connected to, and if you see my other videos, freeing Palestine will cause a domino effect, especially the genocide that's going on in Congo that's rooted to Israel will be affected in a better way. So when we free Palestine and the genocide in other places, they're next to stop. And it'll happen quicker if we can get this done, because there's a big war machine that's profiting on all this. And here's another content creator who covers a lot of stuff in the Congo. Definitely check out Instagram and give her a listen.
If you want to learn more about what is happening in Congo, listen to this video. Earlier this month, the European Union signed a deal with Rwanda. And this deal ensures that there is a continuous supply of precious minerals and materials needed to build clean tech and fund the green economy. The European Commission described this deal as nurturing sustainable and resilient value chains for critical raw minerals. Rwanda is a country that exports more than it mines. And guess where the minerals it exports are coming from? As you guessed it, Congo. Vast amounts of minerals like coltan and gold are smuggled from the Democratic Republic of Congo into Rwanda, where they then enter global supply chains. And as per usual, the world outside of Africa has been largely ignorant to the widespread use of rape, modern slavery, and other horrific things to subjugate the quote-unquote victims of war. To this date, there are over 6 million people dead and the rest enslaved, working to fund green tech. And these conflict minerals are not only fueling the war and the genocide that is happening in Congo right now, but it's also fueling supply chains and the economy. So why am I telling you this? We cannot stop talking about Congo. We need to keep our ears to the ground. Because as children and survivors of a genocide are being forced to work to fund our green economy, it is within this space that we disrupt the narrative. Did you know that in the beginning of this month, lawyers issued a formal notice to Apple? Acting for the DRC, they said if Apple continued to purchase blood minerals from Rwanda, they would face legal action. A notice like this, further legal action, awareness from us, our voices being heard, has the power to exert pressure on where it matters. The fight is not over. Please get educated. Please spread awareness.
That's the goal, everybody. It sounds like a lot. You're like, oh, I don't want to do homework. I don't have to care. We have to. In this day and age when I could just sit down with my boy, shout out to Joe. Love you, bro. Thank you for swinging by, dropping some love. If we have enough time to enjoy ourselves in our privileged lifestyle of enjoying a concert, playing video games, going to a show, doing a road trip at the spur of the moment, all these things that we're free to do that other people have no access to, or even don't even know what that's like because they haven't had that freedom to live freely and do what you will, and that's at no one else's expense. It's really a gift, and it's a gift that everyone deserves to have. Creating this whole charade of lies just to kill a bunch of people to get land, get riches from that land. It's beyond me. It's beyond me. So, as per tradition, after leaving this topic of Palestine, we're going to do a moment of silence, and then we'll talk about the other stuff that I advertised I would talk about. And if we have time, we'll play a game, but if not, we'll save the game for later. We do need more people engaging in the thing, but don't worry, we could always do it next time. Low reward for people being here in the chat. But yeah, God bless you all for listening, and God bless you all for doing your due diligence of being educated, seeing what's going on, being vocal. You can use your platform to be vocal and do what you will. And if you don't use your platform to be vocal, please be educated and be okay to talk with it in conversation with your friends, with your family, with whoever you converse with. And when you vote very, very, very carefully. There is a third party option that has a negative stigma about it. I wonder why there's a negative stigma about voting third party is throwing your vote away. That stigma, who does it benefit? it benefits those who are funded by AIPAC and the terrorist state of Israel. So if you vote blue, if you vote red, you can vote as you will, but just know blue and red are the same team. You're not really voting for anyone except a different way to get this horrible genocide job done in a different fashion. That's why I think they had Biden win, because Biden's the only guy who would have probably give so much blind loyalty and fast, quick response to Israel to get this job done. I think Trump will help him, as he already did help them with the changes in Jerusalem, what that stands for, and giving more power to Israel. Trump will help them as well. Any Republican or Democrat will always help the terrorist state of Israel. They'll just help them differently, and they'll do it at the expense of the American people differently. So if that's your jam, it's your free American given right to vote how you see accordingly. I'm voting third party as usual because I like to sleep at night. So we're going to take a moment of silence for the people of Palestine, and we're going to finish the rest of the show. Thank you for being here. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for having that moment of silence with me. And what's on the agenda? So let's talk about wrestling. So AEW has been on fire. I've heard that they're not doing great business wise, like 3 weeks ago or something like that. That'll happen. There's ups and downs. And I'm not rooting for any pro wrestling business to go down only go down is awesome. But I don't watch WWE, but I want them to be successful in whatever they do. It's a different style. It's a different way to go about the art and the sport. Many of you may not know, but pro wrestling is a fusion, in my opinion, in my professional criticism of being a pro wrestling fan for so long, that it's a combination of art and sport. It's very unique in that regard. There's other things that are like art and sport, like figure skating, and it's just pro wrestling is a little bit more badass than figure skating. No shame in the figure skaters. I used to be one, so don't worry. That's the first sport I ever got into. So what's cool about pro wrestling is that AEW is delivering all the time, and I like AEW style because it's a very non-scripted style. I've only caught few pro wrestlers needing cue cards, but for the most of it, like Jay White, he just goes off. He doesn't have cue cards. He's a poet. He just lets a moment come, just like MJF has like a story, because he has a lot of like cues that come in, and he hits it very well. But he's very, very much a great performer and improv actor, and he's just genius. There's a lot of unscripted stuff, and I like that. It's a character that tells a story, not some corporate person who wrote something for you, or someone who doesn't even watch wrestling write the stories for you. So this Sunday, as the massacre in Rafah was going on, it was AEW Double or Nothing. It gave me 5 hours of happiness until I came back to the real world and saw what was going on there, and had to protest the next day. But yes, the card was fire. AEW Double or Nothing. Let me just move this so I don't have to move. Wait, why am I going against myself? All right, here we go. So this card was fantastic, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone delivered. I mean, so the pay-per-views of AEW is phenomenal. What I like about AEW is that their first show wasn't TV. Their first show was a pay-per-view. It was Double or Nothing. The conception of AEW was All In, and no, it was All Out. Yeah, it was All Out. They had a pay-per-view that had a bunch of wrestlers, and that's when like, hey, I think we could do something. Then the first AEW pay-per-view was Double or Nothing. So when they had their first All Out, that epic pay-per-view for the indie scene, you know, with Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks and a whole bunch of talent. I like how they work and get a lot of people together and to do such phenomenal work. What AEW's first pay-per-view or Double or Nothing was really putting the flag in the ground saying, hey, we are here. We're going to give you competitive lucha libre level, New Japan level, indie style level, but on TV for everybody. And they were able to do a great show, fill up the stadium, and put on an amazing show. And it was very grassroots because there was no television to promote it. Maybe there was a TV spot. I don't know. I didn't see it. You guys got to let me know what that is. Let me know in the comments below. But the cool thing about Double or Nothing is that just like the indie scene thrives, New Japan thrives, it's all through people who do, like I say earlier with our other first segment of do your own research. You really have to do your own research to find quality that's out there, because the stuff that's spoon-fed through what's popular usually is very filtered and censored or limited, in many ways are politically hindered or censorship-wise hindered. To me, sometimes they're a lot the same thing. So I like the freedom of expression of pro wrestlers and not micromanaging them and being as expressive as possible. Long-term storytelling, everything is canon because it's them and their work and how you know them and who you know them. And they just can do anything in the ring. I feel like there's no rules against, oh, you can't do that move, you shouldn't do that move. Of course, there's some moves for health reasons and all that, but they discuss it. And AEW is delivering exactly what I want to see in a wrestling show on the West Side. I love Lucha Libre. I love CMLL. My favorite wrestling show is actually Stardom. There's been some changes, though, so I got to catch up with it because it's kind of weird because the owner left. He did something else, and then now I don't know what's going on there, but still Stardom is staying strong under New Japan and all that. And some of the factions changed. So they're thinking about unmasking Starlight Kid. No, don't do it, girl. No, stay luchadora forever. Viva la lucha. Anyways, back to the show. It was amazing. I felt the trios in the Zero. Actually, you know what? I would say this. I think for story reasons it was here, but Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, I kind of wish that was on 0 Hour or the buy-in. I think there would have been a strong one for it. Not saying I don't want it on the pay-per-view card. I just think that Orange Cassidy is just that type of wrestler people need to see on the main card. And I guess I could get it there. I guess I could understand that. But it was an interesting match, a cool match. I'm not hating it. It's probably not the ones that stole the show for me, but it was a good one. And for moving forward with the story, I just really wish instead of that match, I wish we had Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo in that slot instead. And I'll tell you why. It's not because I am biased towards Thunder Rosa. I will own it. Thunder Rosa is the best of the best in that. She's one of the best. I have so many favorites, but she's up there. I love Thunder Rosa. I love her energy. I love her character. I love her style. I love her in-ring. I love her getup. And what I want to see more in the women's division for these pay-per-views is not just women having a title match, but women having a grudge match, women having a match, just like right here. Orange Cassidy versus Trent Beretta, not for the title or anything like that. It was a grudge match. It was personal, or it was very competitive. It's either really competitive match between the two who really need to prove something, or it's personal, hence the grudge match. We need more women's matches like that on the main card, and not just for a title. And yeah, that's where I'm going with there. So moving along on here, John Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita was awesome. Any match with those two is fire. And seeing these guys fight for the IWGP title, the heavyweight title, is awesome. Because Konosuke, I think he came from Noah. Sorry about that if I'm wrong, but he didn't come from New Japan. So it's really cool to see a non-New Japan Japanese wrestler fight for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. And I love that John Moxley has it. If you look at New Japan, their roster, John Moxley and other AEW wrestlers are listed as regulars there. Trent Beretta as well. And that's so freaking cool. I like how the worlds coexist. It's kind of like sheesh. It's kind of like X-Men and Avengers. I don't know why. First thing popped in my head. Or like Transformers and G.I. Joe. That's more my style. How they can, intertwine. Then, going up here, we got my team, Death Triangle, ladies and gentlemen. Animo! Let's go. Cero miedo. Oh, man. And Pac, man, that's my team. That's my team. Lucha Brothers is my favorite tag team. My favorite trios is Death Triangle. And they went up against the Bang Bang Gang. Is that what they're calling them? Yo, just go Bullet Club Gold. Oh, wait, Bang Bang Game. Bang Bang Gang. Bang Bang Gang. Why does that sound like I'm speaking Mandarin? Anyways, that's a tongue twister for me. I just found out. Anyways, I think that title, the Bang Bang Gang, is for those three. When you have Juice Robinson, then it's complete as Bullet Club Gold. So yeah, now I just talked myself into understanding why they're called that. So yeah, that was a great match. I love seeing them. I really want the pink title of the trios and the black title of the trios to be like just one title, man. They're getting a little cocky holding like 3 titles. I think they just want to feel like they're a Triple Crown champion, Hey, whatever rocks your boat, you have those titles, so might as well. But it'd be cool if all 3 unify, and then you can fight for the trios, either on Ring of Honor and AEW, which I hope that they do. And I was talking to my boy Yokai Robo, and he brought it up that's what they could do, and I like that idea. Then talking about trios, we have this triple threat match here, and that kind of happened organically, and I like how it turned out. It's really funny what just Chris Jericho is doing with his 5,000th character. Is that he's this learning tree, and I think he's like taking on the persona of a certain veteran older wrestler who wants to teach younger wrestlers to wrestle like him. And then if they don't wrestle like him, he takes it personal. I don't know. It's just a thought. But I like how he's trying to be this forced mentor to all these people. And the title is F the World Championship, So he rebranded it as For the World Championship. And the funny thing in there is that by rebranding it, as in the acronym of FTW, is not F the World. It's For the World. When I say F, I'm saying the bad word that I said earlier that I shouldn't have. I'm trying to quit cursing, right? So F the World Championship is now the For the World Championship, and he has this running joke that he's the longest reigning champion of the For the World Championship at like 36 days, I think they did on Dynamite, which is hilarious because by rebranding it, he thinks he's the first ever one, which adds to the cockiness of his character. And I think he's having a lot of fun with it. I think the comedy part and the entertainment value is a little bit like this, but it's like this going upwards, I feel, because I'm getting it. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. And this was like a transitional match. This match also, I wouldn't mind being at 0 hour, but at the same time, you cannot put Shibata off the main card. He cannot be the opener. That's freaking Shibata. He's amazing. Then we have one of my favorite matches of the whole night: Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black in an amazing, dude. This match was more ECW than the For the World one. The For the World one was so entertaining, but yo, that barbed wire cage match was fire. And I love that you win the match by pinning the opponent or knocking them out or making them submit. It's not escaping the cage. I hate escaping the cage as a way to win. I think if it's escaping the cage to win, I think it's more exciting if it's a team effort, not 1v1 or triple threat or tag match. If it's like 3 teams of 3 and above, sure, then there's like a little like a low goal of like not a reverse elimination. Then I'm cool with escaping the ring. But when it's intimate, escaping the ring to win, I don't know. There's something kind of bitch ass about that. I don't like. Cursing again, Kojay. So then we get to the AEW International Championship of Adam Strong and Will Ospreay. And yo, Will Ospreay is my boy. You already know. This was magic. And Adam Strong. I just said Adam Strong. Roderick Strong. Oh my gosh. I was thinking of Adam Cole. Because Adam Cole, when he came out and MJF returned, that was fire. You just needed a promo. And it's great. Like MJF is AEW born, grown, and exploded in this amazing generational talent. And he says it, and he's not wrong. He is amazing, and it was great to see him back. And I'm looking forward to seeing him on Collision in the next 2 days. And I think Collision would be a great show to have MJF main on and have Mercedes Moné main on Dynamite. Because to me, I think those are the 2 hottest stars, charisma-wise and fame-wise, that AEW has, but they have so much talent. It's amazing. So that match with Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong was really good. Very good championship match. Our boy Will Ospreay is now the new champion of it, and I think he's on fire. He's well deserving of it, and he is a former IWGP heavyweight champion, leader of the United Kingdom. Come on, man. This guy is awesome. And what you're getting... See, what we were introduced was the turned heel Will Ospreay. He turned heel as soon as he gave a cutter to Bree, his girlfriend, and then he went super dark heel and then formed his faction in New Japan. I remember that moment. I was like, "Oh, he just got his girl, dang!" He turned to the dark side of the force of pro wrestling ever forward since. And I liked his faction, getting a wrestler from different parts of the country. Jeff Cobb was on there. Aussie Open was part of the faction. It was really, really cool. TJP was in it too. And it was awesome. I liked it. And that's why he's in green, because green was his color for United Empire. So with Will Ospreay, here as a face, you're getting the Will Ospreay that I know, that I first got to see when I went to Super J Cup 2019, and I brag about it all the time. He was fighting ELP. He got eliminated in the first semifinals round, but he spilled into the crowd and he stood between my legs. Not to sound weird, because I was like, usually people get out of the way, but I was like, whoa, and then he just stood there because he was stood on there to look at the audience and do something like that, right? And I was like, well, Ospreay's here. And he said real quick, he whispered, because they talk to each other a lot. And he said real quick, "I'm so sorry, man." I was like, "Don't worry, I got you." Didn't say thank you or anything, just didn't need to because it's so fast. He's like, "So sorry, man. It's okay, I got you." And he got up and he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, I had Will Ospreay's left leg between my legs. That really came out wrong. I do apologize, Will Ospreay, but I was close to him and he was awesome and he was cool. And he was face at that time. And at the end of the show, even though ELP, a heel, won the tournament, Jay White came out with 1 or 2 members of Bullet Club, and he causing a ruckus. And Will Ospreay came out, and I think it was Amazing Red that came out too. They came out, and then Will Ospreay got on the mic. He's like, "Yeah, Bullet Club used to mean something," talking crap to Jay White, and Jay White's like, "Whatever," going off. And then Will Ospreay had this amazing natural speech about why pro wrestling is so great, why that even though they're not on the big, screens or whatever, that this is where the real grit of pro wrestling is, the action, the in-ring storytelling, the feats, the physical pushing of the limits, and the character storytelling of in the fight and post-fight and pre-fight and during the fight. It's just amazing. And he just said, "This is the best." And you just felt like so much pride and proudness for pro wrestling, especially after such a killer, amazing show that Super J Cup 2019 was. That's going down in history as one of my favorite live shows, pay-per-views, whatever you want to call it, of all time. That was so amazing. And I got to meet Jushin Thunder Liger on his retirement year and get a selfie with it. It was just amazing. Oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen. Check out the comments. I'm seeing some love here. Ankit, what's up? Hey, Chotabai. Oh, much love. Finally here at the right time. Yeah, it's crazy. It's probably really early for you in the morning. Thank you for swinging by. Oh, man, and your twin. Hello. Man, thank you. Love you, Ankit. Ankit's the man. I'm one to see. It's really hard. Like when I had Haman on my show, because we have such an hour difference. You're in India, right? Because India is like 13 and a half hours difference from us, because that's how I know Sri Lanka is. But anyways, it's hard to juggle that. So I'm always happy to see my boy Ankit here. He's a fantastic writer, and he's going to do amazing stuff in the future because he's doing amazing stuff right now. Shout out to Ankit. Love you, dog. And so yeah, going along the road. Now it's very interesting that the women's championship title isn't showcased above the TBS title. The TBS title being like what I call a subdivision title from the main title. The main title should always be the main men's and women's and tag titles. Those are the top titles in any show. Dubai, also big time difference. What's the time difference with Dubai and Pacific time? Hey, love you too, dog. So anyways, this match was really good. I love Serena Deeb. I have her like Namaste Wrestling shirts from her indie time before she was signed to AEW. I gotta find them. It's probably in the dirty laundry, so I gotta clean them and then I'll rock them for you as soon as possible. So what's really cool about this match being a little earlier on is obviously Mercedes Moné is really fire, and I think there's a good balance because Toni Storm's character is on another level of character, and it's something that Toni Storm is like right now, timeless Toni. She's one of those really I don't want to say over the top, but very enhanced, exaggerated character to like I would say Undertaker is, except hers is more of a comedic take. And she's almost she could get in brawls with anyone. And the Rogues Gallery, this gallery of challengers, this championship run she's having is always with someone who's really hard hitting or technical. So Serena Deeb is so perfect to be in that category. Well, not category, but that line of challengers for the champion, because everyone's championship run is defined by the opponents or enemies that they face. And then her list along her title reign is such a wonderful one with such really good technical, passionate, powerful, a good mix of wrestlers that Toni Storm is able to duke it out with. Because Toni Storm, she's a Stardom girl, so you know she could hit hard and do the endurance of having these great matches. So then we get to the one that ended the show, Anarchy in the Ring, which made sense because they lived up to it. That was like, oh my gosh, all over the place. You cannot have the things that they did in this match inside the ring, outside the ring, on top of the ring. above the ring. Oh man, with Darby hanging upside down the whole time, I was like, oh my gosh, get him down. How long does the blood rush to the head where it hurts you and kills you? It actually takes a lot longer. But I just didn't. I was just like, no, I was like, man, that guy's a stunt man through and through. Darby Allin is amazing, and I was missing the fact that we didn't have Eddie, but he's due for surgery, so he couldn't be in it. And Darby stepping up to the plate, he definitely pulled his weight like he always does. Darby is what one of my buddies and I were talking about. He's very Mick Foley like, where he will take a heavy beating to make the other guy look good. He's a very giving wrestler. A lot of wrestlers should have the professionalism. This is where the professionalism comes in, to where when you're taking a loss or you're getting beat, that you sell it to make the other one look good, which makes both of you look good because it looks like a battle. You want to be at battle with people equal to you, or it is a squash match. But there's artistry in there, and there's a give and take. If you're just a wrestler who always takes all the time, you're going to be very, very boring. And so I think if you're a wrestler that gives more than takes, I think that's more fruitful from what I've seen. And for the story, it'll always change. Just be a giving wrestler and a caring wrestler, because that's your teammate that you're fighting with to put on the show. So that you're competing with on a skill level. But performance level, that's your teammate. And Darby Allin is a very, very giving wrestler. All these guys were awesome and talented. And I like seeing the Elite with Okada on there, because Okada feels like, especially in his business suit, that he's filling in the shoes or that place or that spot that Cody Rhodes did. Because when Cody Rhodes came out with the Young Bucks, he was always in a suit. He had his bleached blonde hair, and he had this proud look on his face. And, he's being Cody Rhodes. Now we have Okada in the suit with his bleached blonde hair, looking proud and all that, being very Okada. But he's heel here, so it's very fun seeing how he is playing with that. Oh, man. And, Dynamite was amazing. I'm going to roll into Dynamite, my impression on Dynamite. So then we get to this amazing match, which is a rematch from their NJPW Women's Strong title match that Willow won. So this was, I was pretty sure Mercedes was going to win, but I was expecting a fantastic match, and I got it. It was really cool. I love seeing Mercedes Moné in the ring. She saved her first in-ring match for this pay-per-view event, which is huge because this is a huge pay-per-view event. She did a few moves for a few promos, but not a full-on match, and it was great. I love seeing her back in wrestling, and I saw her first return wrestling over in San Jose. Get out of here. I hate that. Yo, tell me in the comments how to turn that off on your Mac. But I went to San Jose. I saw her match with Kairi for the women's NJPW title that she won. And she came on the Hana Kimura gear. Man, that was such a good time. I will never forget that. Even after that, I linked up with my boy Sojo, Smart Doll Sewing with Joe. We hung out. It was cool. But yeah, Mercedes Moné is amazing. She's cool. She's dope. And Willow Nightingale is awesome as well. And it was fantastic to see that match. But I knew Mercedes was going to win because I want her to win, because her with the title, she can now always, like, when you have the title, you have to defend it. And if you're a fighting champion, that means you have a lot of matches with a lot of challengers. So she can fight with so many talent, and we could see everyone get a chance to mix it up with her. And it's going to be great. And I can't wait. And what also stole the show for me, Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. Christian Cage is a very, very creative, storytelling driven talent, physically fantastic. He may not have like the flashiest moveset, but he has the necessary moveset and such a strong character to sell it. He is a living legend, ladies and gentlemen. You can't take that away from Christian Cage. And Swerve Strickland, he's just one of my favorites. I tweeted someone asked, who's your favorite from WWE and who's your favorite from AEW? And then I replied because I love replying to questions on social media, especially random cool ones that fit up in my alley. So I said, in WWE, it's since I don't watch it, but I knew they signed Dragon Lee. He's one of my favorites in CMLL, and he was amazing at Super J Cup 2019. He made it to the finals. His match with ELP was fantastic. I have a clip of it on my channel. You can check it out. So I don't watch WWE, but I know he's there. So I was like, all right, he's my guy. He's my favorite WWE guy. But for AEW, my choice was tied. My two favorites for AEW was Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay, which is funny with how Dynamite turned out. And I want to tell you one more thing about the Adam Copeland match. This match, and this match stole the show for me. Those are my top 3 favorite matches. Everything else was great. I can rank them more, but then I feel like I'm having a hard time choosing because, man, Moxley versus Takeshita and the Anarchy in the ring. Oh my gosh, so much good stuff. This is a great pay-per-view. And they always deliver on their pay-per-views, in my opinion. A bad AEW show to me is still a good one. A great AEW show for me is a fantastic one. An awesome AEW show for me is like the best thing ever. So on my scale and how AEW performs, it's never bad. And I'm always happy. So now the reason I subscribed to Sling and all that. So the thing that touched my heart here was Gangrel showed up. And I said in a video earlier, it'd be cool since Adam Copeland got sprayed with the mist, a darker side would come out, and it did. And they brought back the Brood. I was just hoping Christian Cage again mixed somehow, but maybe it was a one-time thing. I don't know. Adam Copeland got injured. He's out. They vacated the title. And I think they're going to have a tournament. They should have a tournament. Oh, yeah, they are having a tournament for it. Or some kind of ranking system to fight for it at Forbidden Door, which is one of my favorite pay-per-views of AEW. So, yeah, it was a fantastic show. Fantastic. And I don't have a graphic for freaking Dynamite, but Dynamite was fantastic. Following up, I was surprised. I did expect MJF to show up, but he didn't. But Dynamite as a post pay-per-view show, it was good. It picked up the epilogue in the beginning and it continued forward somewhere mid through where this is going on the road to Forbidden Door. Will Ospreay won the gauntlet and he is going to face Swerve Strickland. My two favorites on my favorite AEW pay-per-view are going to fight for the men's AEW championship title. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. It's just so cool. I'm happy. And they faced before in the indies, so this is more like a rematch, but I think it's special because the two are very technical. They're strikers. They have some power moves as well, and they're very agile, very quick. We are going to see magic, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. I pray to God that nothing happens to them. No one gets hurt and they don't have to change anything on the card. This is going to be awesome. I want them to have they are going to have a crazy match. I think their match is possible to steal the whole show already. These guys are high-flying poets in the air, and they're dangerous as hell too. Their strikes are vicious, and man, it's going to be cool. So I think Swerve Strickland is going to come out as champion. I think he has to. It's too soon for him to be dethroned. And the cool thing is that Will Ospreay already has a title. So with Swerve winning, both of them still have a title to still defend. And if anything changes with hype, maybe they could have Will Ospreay hold 2 titles, but I don't think so. I think this is the Swerve era. And I want to see more of who Swerve is going to fight. And I'm confident Will Ospreay will continue to thrive. And if Will Ospreay does, if I was about to say when, but I want to go back to if. I want to leave the possibilities endless here. when Will Ospreay loses, I already said when. Okay, screw it. With the possibility of Will Ospreay losing, we might see a character change. That could be a shift, or something will happen to him to cause the loss because he's still part. He is still part of the Don Callis Society or family. That's what he calls it. So there could be some stuff going on because Don Callis is constantly trying to give advice to his people. Some are taking it, some are not taking it, and being victorious, not victorious. So if he loses, you could turn that into story as to the falling out of Will Ospreay with the Don Callis family, because then he could, you could do a story of blame game into that, and his story will go in another avenue where he gets more challengers, and then Will Ospreay can be free from the Don Callis family, which I think everyone's looking forward to. So that him losing, I can see feeding more to that, because I don't see Will Ospreay being with the Don Callis family for that long. Or he breaks from Don Callis early on before the championship match, and Don Callis costs him the title. So you could do a lot with that. You could do a lot, but this is Swerve's era, and I want to see Swerve with the title for as long as it takes. I don't mind it going as long as possible. Hell, I'm okay with Swerve holding that title for 2 years. Swerve's my boy. I like him as champion. So Dynamite was great, and we finally got to see who attacked Mercedes Moné in the dark, and it was Sky Blue, or Dark Sky Blue, which I was really hoping she would join House of Black, but she's just a like rogue villain on her own that teams up with Julia Hart every now and then. I don't know, but is really, really cool to see that. And that was the beginning of Mercedes Moné fighting more opponents, and seeing how they kept up well is great. Mercedes can fight any type of fighter, wrestler, cruiserweight, heavyweight, average, balanced, whatever, strong style or high flying. She can do it all, and it's great. And I like where they're going with this. It was so cool. And I like Trent Beretta joining the Don Callis family. That was cool. And that was that made me appreciate the Orange Cassidy Trent Beretta match in the pay-per-view a lot more. So that was really, really, really cool. And yeah, so AEW is awesome. I'm excited for Rampage tomorrow. I love Rampage. And Collision on Saturday. So we'll see what's going on. But yeah, AEW is doing a great job. I'm very satisfied. So speaking of pro wrestling, we'll get to my other favorite show, local show, Kitsune Women's Wrestling. Sorry, Joe. I have a few things to get through for the show. So Kitsune Women's Wrestling has been freaking amazing, ladies and gentlemen. And they've announced a show a while ago that I went over that's going down. And they also announced what is it called? They also announced Sugoi. Sugoi was their first show. So they've had 3 shows. 3 shows. And I wasn't able to get the second one. It was in San Diego. The 4th one is back in Glendale. I like the show that they had there before. I'm forgetting the name of it, but their 5th show, their 5th show is going to be Sugoi again, their very first one. So this is the 2nd Sugoi show, and they just announced it. And I want to show you who's going to be there. And I'm going to go to their Instagram, which I highly recommend you follow and support. I'm going to be putting these links all below and all that. And it's going to be awesome. Oh, no. Sugoi is going to be their 4th show, which is their first show. They added a 5th show, which is their new one. That's right. Oh my gosh, getting it together. So let's get back to the announcement of Sugoi. So here we go. Oh, my comment is still there. Hell yeah. LFG 6 weeks ago. All right. So when was this? Oh yeah, 6 weeks ago. So 6 weeks ago they announced Sugoi, and Sugoi is going to be at the venue in Glendale, which I really, 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 really love. And July 14th, doors 6 p.m. I mean, the show is gong is 6 p.m. They open doors at 5 p.m. That's where you get to your seats. That's the address, how to get there, or where it's going to be. If you're going to be in town, check out this show. Buy your tickets. It's going to be awesome. The most expensive tickets just mean you can sit anywhere closer to the ring, and then because it's like a little mini stadium that goes around the ring. So the most expensive ones are ringside, and least expensive from the most expensive, you go a little bit higher up. The cheapest ones go higher up. So it just gets the sections. It's not marked. You can sit wherever you want. The seats are comfortable. The staff is amazing. The art show is great before and in between the show. They have an intermission. They had a Taiku drummers come out, and they were fantastic. And I'm looking forward to more of what they're going to do with Japanese dancing. So Zamaya is going to make her debut there July 14th. Aria Perkins is coming back. Jada Stone, who is amazing, very vocal, very funny, but her physical prowess is amazing. Skylar Slice will be making her debut at Sugoi. Billy Starks is going to be there. Yo, Hitomi, if you come out, join me. We're going to see Billy Starks there. Billy Starks there. Not scare. What the hell? I get tongue-tied, you know what I mean? The Ring of Honor television women's champion. And I really wanted to be Queen Aminata. It was destined to be Queen Aminata. But Billy Starks rewrote destiny when she cheated and became champion. And that's how it goes. But one day, right? And J-Rod, yeah, the ultimate athlete. I'm a big fan of her. She's a local wrestler. I would say of the women's wrestling. Okay, you know how I said my two favorites in AEW is Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. My favorite in women's wrestling right now is Queen Aminata and J-Rod. It's like, oh, and these two fought each other in the Ring of Honor tournament for the Women's Television Championship, which was an amazing match because I love both of these fighters equally. I don't know. Who do I love one? No, they're tied for number one. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna do it to myself. Jin Savani is gonna be making her debut. Helen Charlotte Campbell will be making her debut as well. Marina Shafir will be there again. She was in the last show, and Marina Shafir is awesome. And I like how rough she is and how technical she is and how passionate she is. It's just the mic skills. Some wrestlers, I don't think it's needed or important. She's more of she talks with her action and the violence and skills that she has. So Marina Shafir is just amazing in the ring. Jordan Castle. Now, I've seen this guy host for Venue Wrestling, a local show in my area, and he will be making his debut. So I wonder if he's going to be hosting it with the other host that's usually there, and or if he's going to do it all. I think it'll be co-host, but it's cool. We'll be seeing him there. He's got his patent look, just like I have my lucha mask is my patent look. His crazy hair there. I think the dude just puts his finger in a light socket and his hair gets good. I'm just playing. Oh, yeah, that's what the venue looks like. A little highlights there, you know. But let's get back to who's going to be there. Nina is going to be making her debut. Milo will be returning. Emily J will be making her debut. And it's cool. They have a meet and greet afterwards. It'll cost some money to take a picture with them and get an autograph. But hey, that's how you support the talent and the wrestler. So definitely when you go to these shows, if you want to do that and get a cool moment to, hey, congratulate their awesomeness and get a selfie with them, it's totally fun. It's totally cool. And it helps support the wrestler, which is what we should be doing. Support your wrestlers, ladies and gentlemen. Everly Rivera will be making her debut. And that's one of the matches right there. Tag team match. I think that's a good pairing. That should be awesome. And Onimon Onigiri will be there. They have some good food and snacks. And the owner of it, she had a hoodie with a lucha mask on it, and we took pictures together. I gotta post it. Oh my gosh, I'm so horrible with it. I think I put in my stories on Instagram. But yeah, They're going to be there, and it's really cool. The salmon rice triangle is awesome. Nope, that's more of that. Okay, Marina Tucker will be making her debut at Sugoi, and this is them announcing a new event. So Lady Frost will be making her debut. Oh, Lady Frost is so good. Oh, she's gonna be taking on Jada Stone at Sugoi. Miyako Matsumoto will be there. She's fantastic. Oh man, I'm just getting hyped. So that's the whole roster for Sugoi. It looks like there's 2 spots there. Are we going to have some surprise appearances? They do have some surprise appearances because last time they said they didn't show who else was there, and then we got a pleasant surprise from Impact Wrestling. Marika Kobayashi is going to be there. Oh man, she's so gorgeous. Oh, low-key crush on her. Low-key crush. Obvious crush. Man, Lady Maravilla. So maybe that's the 2 that we unlocked there. Lady Maravilla. Oh my gosh, she's fantastic. I like her lighter look here. It's really cool, but dang. So there we go. We unlocked the 2 wrestlers. There it is. The other one. This is in August, I think. Yabai. And look who's making her debut. Jasmine Allure. So we got more fighters showing up. Okay. That thing was teasing us. I already like this stuff. I just forgot. And Team Kawachi Ondo, they're the one. I think they were there last time. They had a great show. It was great. I love the Japanese culture, and when they embrace it and share it, when they do events like these, it's just beautiful. Okay, so there you go. It's updated. There's the roster. Wait, what happened? Oh, there's a video going through them. Cool. Oh, so Billy Starks is going to be taking on Miyako Matsumoto. That's going to be fire. And Xia Li is coming to Kitsune Women's Wrestling. Yabai. That's gonna be sick. And that's in LA. Ooh, Delmi Exo will be there. Nagisha Nozaki. Heidi Howitzer. Oh my gosh, that's so horrible. Hopefully she's not watching the show. She's gonna kick my ass if she sees her or punch me in the face. She's fantastic. I love seeing her wrestle. Ooh, is that a 4-way? That's gonna be nice. That's gonna be sick. Shaza McKenzie. It's going to be there. Jordan Blade. She's awesome. Aspen Rose. Nice. See, the font is screwing up my dyslexia, so bear with me, even though I know these wrestlers. She is fantastic, though. I like how she carries herself in the ring. I haven't liked these yet. Oh, so this is all new to me. And, yep, that's going to be... Ooh, free hat to the first 75 fans in line. Is that? I hope that's a snapback. That looks like a snapback. All right, I'm gonna have to plan to get there early because I'm a t-shirt hoe, a hat hoe, lucha mask hoe. So and our women's champion since the first Kitsune women's wrestling show, Sugoi, and still our women's champion Unagi Sayaka of Cosmic Angels back in the day when it was a trio. Oh my gosh. Tam Nakano's her and Mina. So awesome. Oh, I love Cosmic Angels. That was a good era in Stardom. Oh, wait, what happened? Oh, I pressed the wrong button. No. Where were we? Let's go back to the champion. No spoilers. Cool. Aja Kong. Ooh. So they're pumping it up there. J-Rod will be there. Yeah. So she's going to be at both. I can't wait. And yeah, we're all caught up. So yeah, Kitsune Women's Wrestling. And ladies and gentlemen, you can also check out their website. They have information there, where to buy tickets. And oops, I missed the comment here. And this is a big one. Let's read it. Let's see. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion of your channel. Viewers, followers, views, chat, bots, etc. The price is lower than any I'm not paying for shit. All right, not interested. So there's my answer. Thank you for swinging by, though. And I suspect you're a bot, so you're not even taking this personal. Even better, win-win. So yeah, I'll provide a link and you'll check it out. And we'll have a good time. And Kitsune Women's Wrestling. It is phenomenal. It is Stardom level, AEW level. Check it out. You do not want to miss it. It's Mae Young Classic level. That's my favorite tournament ever in WWE history. Mae Young Classic 1 and 2. Number 1 was just priceless. It was a work of art, man. Back when there was no other option. So I think that's why there was never a Mae Young Classic 3. But man, I wish I want can't even say WWE without saying AEW. I want WWE to release on Blu-ray both Mae Young Classics. You could do it as 2. You can get more for my buck. Mae Young Classic Tournament 1, Mae Young Classic Tournament 2. And those were just great. I loved it so much. Oh, it was good wrestling. Good wrestling back in the day. Always. Or for that show. That's just my favorite of all those tournaments from WWE. So yeah, Kitsune women's wrestling is awesome. Start off with mother of Hana Kimura, and that's where End the Hate my message comes from, because that's my goal. I'm angry with what's going on in the world, but I do not hate. I want people to stop killing each other. I want people to get along. And cyberbullying is petty and stupid, and it hurts people. It took the life of Hana Kimura. I'm never going to forget it. I'm never going to stop trying to stand up for what's right. You know what I'm saying? So it was a blessing to have Hana's mom there. And Konami, of course. I'm all looking for that picture she signed. Where did I put it? Oh, it's right over there. Safe and sound. I'm too lazy to get up and get it. And you save energy for some playing Fortnite later. So yeah, Kitsune Women's Wrestling, definitely support them. I'll put links below, like I do when I get around to. And yeah, follow me on socials. I'll post and share stuff as much as I can. So the other thing on the agenda today is co-watch parties. Now, the Bat Channel and I have taken a little break from our Super Sentai Zyuranger co-watch party, and I'm doing a lot because I have to finish my own film. But yeah, we are going to be doing Abba Ranger next. The Justice version of it called Dino Thunder, which is actually interesting and loved too. I like how they brought Tommy back. I never saw Dino Thunder, and I never saw Abba Ranger. Yeah, I'm a Super Sentai fan. The thing is, I don't see a lot of Super Sentai. It's slow for me because when I see one I like, I'll watch it again and again and again. Because when I love something, I don't want it to end. So I rewatch it. And also when I rewatch it, I get more familiar with it. I pick up stuff I didn't see before. And knowing something by heart of what you love, I think that's the way to go with anything. So, Abba Ranger is going to be exciting because it's also known as, regarded amongst fans as the top 5 best Super Sentai of all time, if not the number 1 best Super Sentai of all time. So I'm really excited to see that. The thing is, I want you all to be able to see it too. And the only way to see Abba Ranger is if you buy the DVD from Shout Factory. It is also available on other sites that sell DVDs that may be cheaper. They might have sales and stuff. So check wherever it's sold. I'll put the link below of where you could buy Abba Ranger. Buy it on DVD. It'll be easier to watch with us because I'm also exploring ways that you could watch it with us for free. And if we do, it'll only be available to those of you who are outside the Asian regions of South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, and some other countries around there. But for the West Coast, you should be able to see it for free if I do it a way where I give you a link. I'd like to promote the show, so that link I provide, and if I do it that way, you will have to see it live with us because I'm going to get rid of that link because I want to support the show. So after the show premieres, you may not have a link to watch it with us. So I recommend you try and be there at the premiere with us, and I'll work out more details with that too. But we're going to be back with Abba Ranger. So my Super Sentai fans on my channel who love more Super Sentai reactions with me and the beloved Bat Channel, like and subscribe to the Bat Channel. That's what's coming up next for our co-watch party series with Super Sentai. So that's in the works, and I think that you might see new episodes maybe in July. I'll keep you posted, but if you want the best news, just follow me here on my YouTube or my socials and Twitch and all that, and we'll have a good time. Now, in addition to that, my other co-watch parties is with film, and the next film on our co-watch party list, and we're going to end the show today on this one because I want to promote my own work or my own channel and fun content. We will be watching The Battleship Island. This is a story of World War II. The Japanese took people against their will and forced them into slave labor to dig for coal under the ocean depths and mine for stuff to fuel for the boats and so many other things that they needed supplies in the war in World War II. So it's based on historical history, but the events are kind of fictional, kind of like you would see any historical film like Glory. Glory had a lot of fictional characters, but it was a true story of that regiment in that time. Just like if you see the movie Roots, the series Roots that went over generations of family in the era of slavery of America. The family and the story that they went through were fictional, but the events happening around them and what was going on in the world was real and true. So when you see stories based on historical events, for the movie and fantasy of experiencing a movie or a story, there's always going to be some theatrical expression, some things that, like in the Diary of Anne Frank, some things were over dramatized just for the story's sake, but that doesn't take away for the story educating the audience of what was going on at the time. And if it is based on real people, it gives you a chance to get to know them on an empathetic level. Now, with what I started on the show with what's going on in Gaza and Palestine, I feel it's important that when we take time to enjoy cinema and a story that it might be very difficult to watch, but also very beautiful to experience in the adventure of suspense and survival, and the artistry of shooting this brilliantly, and the set design, the actors performance, the music, the stunts, everything was and the acting performance. Oh my gosh, it's really, really good. And I think that this film got mixed reviews, and I know from what I see in the Asian market, when I think there's historical nitpicky people that don't like when we saw the Great Battle. I think I remember reading that there was harsh criticism on the depiction of certain characters, especially the general was inaccurate. So people thought the movie was a failure, but the movie as a story on itself was amazing and awesome. So it really depends. If you're one of those people who want everything in historical biopics to be accurate, you're never going to get it. It's either going to be 90% or 30%. And there'll always be some things, different. Like I saw that Bohemian Rhapsody movie directed, the one about Queen, directed by that pedo-friendly director, Bryan Singer. That movie focused on certain lifestyles instead of some family styles of the character. But I think that's just because, in my opinion, I suspect the director's a pervert. So he focused on sexual stuff. But there was a moment in that movie where Freddie Mercury was telling his bandmates that he had HIV. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being corrected. I like the truth. But the band members didn't know he had HIV until after his passing. But the movie told a different story where Freddie Mercury told his bandmates of his condition. And from where I read, the members of Queen were okay with it, even though it wasn't true. And that kind of stuck with me, because maybe when people see things of their stories being told by actors in a movie, if there's something that didn't go the way they went, but it expresses something that maybe they possibly would have liked to have happened. That it kind of gives them some maybe closure or a possible pocket of how things could have been if it went different avenues. So the things that are different in stories based on true events for the movie will have some merit for the storytelling adventure. Now, if you're looking for absolute truth of any historic events, documentaries. Enjoy documentaries. That's what they're for. Stories and movies about true events that take certain dramatic liberties and changes the story for the movie thing, enjoy it, because any movie based on truth or fiction, they're still a movie and they're not real. They are a beautiful fantasy of a reality or a fantasy of a fantasy that you can connect with reality, that you can have an awareness or appreciation of something that was. And it should encourage you to look up the real story anyways. And that's why I think historical stories and movies are so important, whether they're the accuracy percentage is at whatever level is really important. And I think the only bad thing a historical film can do is portray propaganda, slander against someone. That's when I draw the line. And there's some instances in some films, I can't think off the top of my head. Well, once I do, I'll probably do a podcast about it. Oh, wait, I just thought of one. I'll save it for the podcast. So there are ones that slander the person's name. Just like, okay, like the family, the Bruce Lee family, how they don't like the slanderous portrayal of Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I personally don't like it. Michael Jai White doesn't like it either. And the family of Bruce Lee doesn't like it. And that's saying something. So if you take certain things that encourage slander at someone historical, then I think it's a failure. And that's my take on that. So all that being said, I believe Battleship Island had mixed reception, but the film is so fantastic. It has a lot of hurrah moments, and it does have a hashtag damn it Kojay moment or two. I haven't seen it in a while. I don't want to watch it because I want to save it for the watch party. Now, when I do the watch party, ladies and gentlemen, it should be with the Bat channel. I don't know when. We're working on it, so stay tuned and look for that information as soon as possible. Follow me so you don't miss it. I post things as crazy as much as I can. So Battleship Island, you can rent it. It's not on any streaming service, so you do have to rent it digitally or buy it digitally, or you can watch it for free. How you can watch it for free is totally legal. What I do is I invite people to the backstage, and the backstage of the show, you'll just join me on StreamYard. You will not join the panel. There will be no chat for you to talk in, and no one will be able to see you. What you will be able to see is a screen that is share screening, just like I share screen Instagram and YouTube when I do these videos. It'll share screen the movie I'm sharing with the panel, so you can see it for free. But the only way to do that is if you're there for the live watch party. And I could only offer I think 22 to 20 seats. And since I usually only have so many people watch my live shows, I have 28 going on right now. So thank you. So let's say we do this. 20 viewers would be able to watch. It'll be a first come, first serve. And the other 8 viewers would have to rent it and watch it that way. Or if you don't have the money, but you do want to see it, wait till you can see it and watch the replay, just queue it up and enjoy it with us that way. And you get to enjoy us watching the movie together. So this movie is very heavy, very powerful, very beautifully shot. And the awareness is great because I didn't know this happened. There's a lot of things that this brings to attention because the actual site of this island was opened for the public to check out, like checking out Alcatraz. But the problem is the Japanese government was downplaying what it was really about. Then they said something about it. Then they backtracked about it. and it was weird. So there's actually a little movement, little or strong, I don't know, I haven't checked out in a while, in South Korea that's trying to bring awareness of what happened on Battleship Island. Now, again, just like what we talked about in Gaza, occupying people and treating them inhumanely is wrong. Any type of slavery and Holocaust is wrong. So if you take out those stories from history, as ugly as they are, like the settlers in America slaughtering Native Americans, that's an ugly thing of the past. But it should be known, it should be taught, it should be understood so we don't repeat it again. Now, in all these stories and all these in real life, there are governments and factions and individuals who do harm to people. Do they represent themselves and their own actions, or do they represent the ethnicity or nationality they belong to? Therefore, their single individual actions means damnation for the whole populace that they're associated with. These questions are huge. Like, if someone of a demographic hurts you, are you going to be angry at that person, or are you going to take the anger on every person of that demographic, people who didn't hurt you? See, there's wrongness, and then there's things you do that's wrong. So in this story, the Japanese soldiers and the people who have the Koreans and some Chinese people as slaves, that tells you that those people doing that in that army are the bad guys. But the Japanese as a whole and people are not necessarily bad people unless that individual does bad. You know what I mean? And it changes. It changes. You see the letters to Iwo Jima. You see that some of the soldiers were just trying to survive, you know? So you need to look at these historical stories and these things, because a lot of governments will change face of being the good guy or the bad guy to so-and-so. And we need to understand these complexities and learn from them so we do not repeat them in real life. So I talked a little too long. So I'm going to show you a special thing about Battleship Island, just to give you some context about it. And then we'll end with a little trailer for it, and I'll see you next time. So I hope you had a good time here on my channel. And I know I kept my boy waiting, but I plan to do this. And it's Kojay's Corner. I hope you all had fun. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on Twitter. And I am working to get this go live only for an hour on Instagram. But Instagram's giving me some issues because I've been posting a lot of Palestine stuff. So I've been shadow banned and restricted left and right like a mofo. So here we go. And here's a little special. It's only like 5 minutes and 24 seconds from Aryang. And I got into watching Aryang because they had a lot of K-pop specials. So I subscribed to their channel, and they post a lot of cool stuff. So here we go. About Battleship Island.
Hashima Island, one of dozens of controversial sites Japan has pushed to gain UNESCO World Heritage recognition. A proud symbol of Japan's rapid industrialization, but contrary to the image Tokyo is promoting, it's where hundreds of Koreans were taken and forced into labor in deadly undersea coal mines. Oh Jung-hee met with the few survivors to hear their stories.
A 15-second-long video has been lighting up New York's Times Square since Monday. It aims to shed light on a less well-known aspect of Hashima Island, one of Japan's UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
It's a fact that the island is listed as a World Heritage Site, so our ad starts with this fact, and then delves deeper into forced conscription and the 120 victims. It ends by saying that Hashima's true name is Island of Hell.
Roughly 15 kilometers away from the city of Nagasaki in southwestern Japan lies the uninhabited island of Hashima. Surrounded by a seawall and full of abandoned concrete buildings, the island resembles a battleship, which is why it's commonly called Gunkanjima or Battleship Island. The island is recognized as a symbol of Japan's rapid industrialization, but has a dark history of conscription and forced labor. From 1940 to 1945, 500 to 800 Koreans were forcibly taken to Hashima Island. Kim Hyung-sup is one of them. The exact date that he was taken to Japan, November 17, 1943, is one he can never forget.
I don't even want to talk about it. I can't explain how much we suffered. Eating was the biggest problem. They gave us dried sweet potato, beans, and bean dregs. That's what they called food for us.
Korean laborers were neither well fed nor well paid, and they had to spend more than 12 hours a day in the coal mine, which is 1,000 meters under the sea. Lee In-hoon is another survivor. He says some laborers desperately tried to escape from hell, but failed.
The land was visible from the island. It was right across the sea. Some tried to escape by swimming and holding onto wooden panels, but they died.
The dreary atmosphere of Hashima Island can be seen through these photos here. And what's clearly noticeable is the difference in living environments between Japanese citizens and Korean laborers. The Japanese citizens lived in these modern, newly built apartments. In contrast, 500 to 800 Korean laborers were crammed into these small buildings. Hashima Island was listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2015 as one of the places symbolizing Japan's Meiji Industrial Revolution. When Japan got the endorsement of the UNESCO Advisory Committee ICOMOS, Korea strongly protested against it, claiming that having these places as World Heritage Sites hurts the victims and UNESCO's dignity. At the 2015 UNESCO official meeting, Japan, for the first time on the international stage, acknowledged there was forced labor.
There were a large number of Koreans and others who were brought against their will and forced to work under harsh conditions in the 1940s at some of the sites.
But that was immediately reversed by the Japanese Foreign Minister Fumio Kishida.
Forced to work. The expression forced to work does not mean forced labor.
ICOMOS recommended that Japan take measures to help visitors understand the full history of the sites, and Japan promised to establish information and commemoration centers. While an implementation report on that is due December 1st this year, not much action has been taken within Japan.
According to what we're hearing from civil groups in Japan, signboards installed at the facilities don't explain at all about conscription and forced labor. Rather, the authorities are interviewing the Japanese people who lived on the island back then, who say Hashima was not an island of hell like what Koreans say.
The Korean government is to raise the issue at the annual UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting currently taking place in Poland. The government expressed regret that no tangible measures have been taken in Japan over the last 2 years and highlighted Japan's promise is not only an agreement with Korea, but with the whole world. Having an agreed view on history and remembering it is crucial in heading toward the future. For Korea, the first step would be recognizing Hashima Island and others as legacies of Japan's industrialization, and for Japan to face the fact that colonization contributed to its industrialization. 오정희, 아리랑 뉴스.
All right, so sorry I was on mute. Thank you for watching that. That's very important, and also reflects to how I was talking about what's going on in Gaza with the apartheid regime and dehumanizing people and taking advantage of people. So avoiding truths and facts about history, however ugly it is, really does encourage people to repeat it. and we have to learn from these. So these stories are very important, very inspirational, and awareness driven, to help us understand what really is our humanity. So that's what's next on the co-watch party movie wise, and be on the lookout for that. Like and subscribe to my channel, and follow me on all my socials so you can keep up with what I think, what I'm going to put out next. And yeah, thank you so much for swinging by. I want to give a huge shout out to my boy Ankit, Joe Soz, and Hitomi Haruko, and you for watching this show from whatever platform you're on, and checking out the replay. Thank you so much for swinging by Kojay's Corner. This was a huge variety special, as I like to do, and I'll see you next time. So I'll bid you adieu and a good night, and see you next time as I just get the graphics up for the laying thing. So much love. Treat each other with love and respect. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourself. Speak up for truth. Don't let the propaganda get you. And if someone's fighting for truth, get out of their way. All right. Free Palestine. I'll see you next time. Much love and God bless.
선생님, 조선분이시죠? 저하고 같이 온 딸내미가 이소희라고. 아직 어린 년이라. 핏덩이를 데리고 뭐 하는 거야? 지금부터 내가 조선을 와야 보여.
본발로 가는 거라고 도라구에 태워서서 갔더니 몽롱 부르더라고.
하시마란 탄광섬에 역류되어 있다는 첩보가 있어. 자네가 윤 선생 모셔와.
ここの出来事を記憶する朝鮮人たちを一人たりとも残してはいけないということです。証人なる朝鮮人たちを殺さないといけないんだ。
부탁이요. 내 딸 소희만이라도 여기서 나가게 해줍시다.
나갈 거야. 여기 있는 조선 사람들 다 같이.
집에 다시 가요?
그럼 가야지.
조선 사람들 전부 배에 탈 동안 우리가 뒤를 봐준다.
한 사람이라도 살면 우리가 이기는 거예요.
これから俺たちは限界を